Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this SNU football stadium. Southern Nazarene football on the air this afternoon for the conclusion of the spring home slate in 2021 as the Crimson Storm take on Missouri Southern State. Everyone, Luke McConnell with you alongside Jeremy Coleman, Ben Bumpus doing production for us today here in the booth. We're delighted to have you with us for, again, a special matinee midweek. But it's football, Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's the exciting thing, and exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be a great week to get things going for sure. And last week was fun. A Friday night affair, a 3 p.m. kickoff again, and so you got to love those 3 o'clock kickoffs in the middle of the week. But hey, get the weekend started early. Tune into a little bit of Crimson Storm football. It's going to be a good one.
Missouri Southern State coming out on the field right now, and they are under the head coaching of first-year head coach Atiba Bradley out of the MIAA, so a step up in competition, at least from a perception-based. These two teams have not met before, and it should be a great test for this Crimson Storm bunch, Jeremy, that put up a great fight against East Central last week, ultimately coming up a little bit short against their Great American Conference rival.
Well, you know, it comes down to a last-minute heave into the end zone by Gage Porter. Ball gets batted around, knocked to the turf. But I tell you what, Porter played a heck of a game last week. Shellmeyer obviously had a good week as well. But Porter almost accounts for nearly 500 yards total with over 200 on the ground and over 250 in the air in last week's contest. And so going to be interesting to see if he can kind of continue to string it together as we move ahead here in the spring. And like you said, last home game for this slate. So
the Crimson Storm coming in looking for some good new things under head coach Dustin Hayda. We talked to him earlier this week. He had a lot of good things to say, particularly about the play along the lines. The offensive line, he said, has been a pleasant surprise thus far. 2 starting freshman tackles, true freshman tackles, starting for the Crimson Storm today and last week against East Central, and also the defensive line. He asks a lot in their defensive scheme. They rotate 7 guys. 5 of those are freshmen as well. And Jeremy, you saw that firsthand last week. Some improvement along the line of scrimmage from teams of the past.
Incredible work down in the trenches last week. I mean, it is what kept them in the game moving ahead. A really good job in the first half stopping the run. Obviously started to have some issues late in the ball game against the run, and I think that's kind of what eventually made the lead eclipse and then giving it up there in the end. But offensive line played surprisingly well. I would agree with Coach Hayda. Offensive line doing a good job allowing things to happen in space and even between the tackles. And so, obviously you don't have a quarterback rush for and throw for as many yards as Gage Porter did last week without things happening up front first. So a fantastic job by this Crimson Storm line on both sides, but namely the offensive line.
Crimson Storm won the toss. They will defer to the second half, so Missouri Southern will get the football to start this contest. Just a little bit of background on Missouri Southern out of the MIAA. They're based in Joplin, Missouri, if you weren't aware of where the school is located as well. It's been tough sledding for the Lions, to say the least, over the last several years. Just 6 wins in the last 5 years as a program. 2013, their last season with a winning record at 7-3. They averaged 345 pass yards per game in 2019, but threw 29 interceptions as a team. Gave up 44 points per game, 6.2 yards per play, 480 yards per game. They were just a slight bit ahead of SNU as far as rush yards allowed. 242 yards allowed per game, and SNU, of course, gave up 251 yards per game. Those two right there at the bottom, 159 and 160 in the country out of 165 in Division II. Of course, we knew all about the Crimson Storm's issues on that side. As far as the line of scrimmage is concerned, the opponents in the Great American Conference love to pound the football down your throat, and they took advantage of SNU in that regard in 2019, but Missouri Southern presents an opportunity for SNU to get their own ground game going. today.
Well, and, building on last week's success, obviously, between Porter and Shellmeyer, having a ton of success on the ground last week. And, something interesting that we saw last week was a little bit of speed option working right and left for the Storm. And so going to be interesting to see if we get some more of those looks tonight. Obviously, some design quarterback runs with Porter. But getting Shellmeyer working either on the option, on quick screens, bubble screens outside, going to kind of be interesting to see if they try to take advantage of potentially a weak Lion defense there up front.
Dustin Hayda spoke to us and mentioned the time that he has had to build the culture has been pretty much unprecedented. You certainly don't wish for something like COVID to happen, but it has been invaluable for him to be able to set the culture, set the tone, implement new things in the program that he has wanted to implement, and I think we're starting to see a little bit of the fruits of that labor in this early spring season, especially with the contributors on the freshman side of things and the young guys who've been big in these first two contests.
Well, I mean, you're just seeing a team that seems to have a lot more heart from top to bottom. Seeing guys making big plays on both sides of the ball, guys coming in and contributing. I think about last week, Cam Walker being tested several times early in the ball game on the defensive side, doing a fantastic job working back and just continuing to step up each time he was tested. It's been interesting to kind of see all of these things shake out, but it does seem like a team that has a little bit more of a drive, a little bit more on a mission. And so, as quickly as Coach Hayda has had to build that culture, it seems like those things are starting to take.
So, again, the Crimson Storm will be kicking off to start this contest. It'll be freshman Baylor Gillespie out to kick this one away. And so the Crimson Storm will start on defense first this afternoon. Beautiful
Interesting to
sky,
see.
At least. A stiff 20-mile-an-hour north-northwest breeze blowing, gusting up to 30. It's straight north wind. It's going to be a rough day for kicking and throwing, to say the least, today. As Gillespie, the run-up and the boot, a high end-over-end kick. It's going to be fair caught at about the 17-yard line by number 83 for the Lions. And that's going to be Avery Suamana-Tufa with the reception there. And we've got I'm just going to tell you now, folks, we've got some names out here for the Lions today. We will do our absolute best to not completely butcher them.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's some names out there to be sure.
Also, the gold numbers, a little hard to read as well in the middle of the day. It's Jalen Banks coming out as the quarterback. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. The give is going to be to the running back.
Oh, my goodness.
Throwback to Banks, and it's a double reverse pass. Airs it down the sideline. Wide open receiver is caught in stride at the 43-yard line, taken down at the 40-yard line. That's number 80, Jonathan Watts, with the reception. And right out of the gate, a massive trick play for the Lions.
Lions coming out, go with the reverse, the toss back, and then the fire downfield. It works out. It doesn't go for 6, but, man, my goodness, pulling all the tricks out of the bag. First play from scrimmage tonight.
So 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line for the Lions. As Banks in the pistol set. The give is to Josh Mercer running right. And he's finally going to be taken down by Josh Johnson at the 29-yard line. So give him 9 yards on 1st down.
Defensive end gets sucked in there. They end up hook blocking him, pushing him back into the wash, and then that's going to open up all sorts of running room up there along the right side. Pickup of 9 yards there on the 1st down.
So 2nd and 1. Minute gone by, 1st quarter, as the Lions moving right to left to start here at SNU Football Stadium. Banks back to pass, swings it out in the flat to Mercer. He's going to be hemmed in and taken down for a loss. Angel Hernandez and Cole Kizik combined for a 4-yard loss on second down back to the 33-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4 to go.
Well, Banks kind of puts Mercer out to dry there a little bit, putting the ball behind him. Mercer having to spin around and corral that one in. It slows everything down as far as the timing for Mercer. And then, that just allows that Crimson Storm defense to converge, collapse, and then ultimately make the play in the backfield.
It's actually going to be 3rd and 6 as they mark it back to the 34-yard line. As Banks checks to the sideline, 2 wide receivers right. Stoshak comes in motion. Banks looking for the screen across the middle. It's going to be incomplete at the 35-yard line.
Bauer gets there. Good defense coming from that linebacker spot. Fantastic way to read that, coming downhill the whole way. That's what you'd like to see your linebacking core do, is working inside first and then backing out. Oh, man, they're going to try this.
They're going to try a 52-yard field goal into the wind.
Oh, my gosh, man.
And this is going to be, I believe, Nick Williams, who's wearing a different jersey than what we have on our rosters, because this is spring football. Nick Williams airs it up, and it doesn't even get to the end zone. It dies at the 5-yard line. No good.
I think,
a valiant effort, to say the least.
Not that one probably was going to get anywhere close. But I think SNU came hopping away saying that they got a piece. So I don't know if potentially maybe they got a piece of that. We'll say that on behalf of the kickers.
Indeed. It looked like he got it off pretty well as far as height and everything. So I don't know. I'd be hard-pressed to say that someone got a piece of that, just given the trajectory.
Ball landed about the 10-yard line. And, I mean, listen, that's a stiff wind coming straight into your face.
So, Jeremy, first defensive possession as we're at a break here. You had the throwback, the double reverse pass, essentially. And aside from that, the Missouri Southern not really able to get anything. Didn't get a first down after that one big play.
That was really a reverse double pass is really what it boiled down to, which was kind of crazy because the second reverse was all the way back across the hash marks. But, interestingly enough, besides the trick play and the first down play that immediately ensued, 9-yard pickup there on that first down, finding a way to get a tackle for a loss and then standing up. This SNU defense, bend but not break. It's the same thing we saw last week, and they're finding some success there for sure.
So Gage Porter leads his troops out. 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line for the Crimson Storm. Wide receiver to either side, 2 to the right, in fact. And that's going to be a false start on the left tackle for SNU, number 79, Andy Cardenas.
Yeah, Cardenas just kind of stumbles out of his stance there, and it was enough definitely to draw the penalty flag. Not good. You definitely don't want to ever start a drive behind the sticks, but especially not your first one.
So now 1st and 15 for the Crimson Storm. 12:51 to go, first quarter. No score between the Lions and the Storm. Porter shifts Shellmeyer to his left. Tight end on the left side of the line is Jaron Alvarado. It's Colby Branch in motion. Porter takes it himself, and he loses a couple yards back to the 27-yard line. So a loss of 2 on first down will now bring 2nd and 17.
Designed run there for Porter, obviously, and maybe a read option, but really he looked to keep the whole way. This Lion defense completely ready for that. And, I know you said that SNU probably didn't have any film on the Lions, but the Lions definitely saw some film on SNU. There's no doubt about that. 2
wide receivers left, 1 to the right. Coach Hayda said expect to see just about everything for SNU today. Porter on the quick slant to Tisdale. It bounces off the turf, incomplete.
Never looked like Porter got his hands on that one exactly right, throwing from the middle of the football, and then obviously driving that one through the ground, just comes up short. But that's a tight window anyway. Good defensive coverage here on the near side. And so, it's definitely tough, especially when Jordan Jr. was draped all over. Tago was draped all over him there.
Yeah, Jamie Tago listed as a defensive end, but the guy wearing number 3 out here at corner, and he's definitely not 261. So another roster, who knows what.
Yeah.
Snap. Porter kept it himself and was taken down at the 25-yard line. where it will be 4th down. So the Crimson Storm go backwards 9 yards on their opening possession. And some words exchanged from Porter and the cornerback on the near side. I believe that is Dylan Bolden, who's wearing number 3 today. We'll try to figure it out.
Good to keep it guessing. But, yeah, definitely not what you want to do when you're on your first possession, or any possession really for that matter.
Reed Roloff's back to punt for SNU. He is listed as the backup punter and sends a booming one skyward. It's going to be taken at the 25 by Showstack. And he's going to be taken down at the 30-yard line by Jaron Alvarado on coverage for SNU. So a nice punt there for Reed Roloffs.
Well, I was going to say, we don't see Ryan Reed today, obviously, on the opening kickoff. I was curious about that. He is suited up, walking the sideline. I see him walking by right now, so not really sure what's going on there. But Ryan Reed not kicking or punting yet tonight.
And Reed, one of the biggest guys on this team, Jeremy. I mean, when you've got your punter / kicker who's listed, 6'4" or 6'6", 250, 260. Quite an impressive guy out there, and so he's very hard to miss, and especially with that mullet he's got going on right there.
That's right. Yeah, he's all business in the front, party in the back for sure. He, interestingly enough, last week I believe it was on a punt return. Returner got a little bit loose, and Ryan Reed decided that he had seen just about enough of that and ended up planting a guy about the 50-yard line. So, yeah, he's definitely a big guy, a guy that's not afraid of contact. Always fun to watch kickers kind of get their licks in. So, not sure why he's not out tonight, but, we'll kind of see as things progress.
Jalen Banks back in the pistol. 2 wide receivers left, 1 to the right. The give is to Mercer running left, puts his foot in the ground, finds a hole, and is finally going to be taken down after a short gain by Milik Ritchie.
Good hole there created by that front line for the Lions. You'll take 3 or 4 at a time for sure anytime you can get them, and they created enough space and give Mercer a chance to get to the second level there.
2nd and 6 for the Lions in their second offensive possession. 3 wide receivers to the right as Banks awaits the snap. Again, puts in the belly of Mercer up the middle, and he gets about 5. They'll give him 4 to the 38-yard line.
Good counter step there from Mercer. Gets that outside foot planted in the ground, pushes back towards the right tackle, and takes it downhill. Good run there from Mercer.
So 3rd and 2 for the Lions. Big opportunity here for the Crimson Storm to get off the field. Banks checks at the line of scrimmage. Play clock only at 13. Plenty of time here for the junior quarterback. Transfer from Eastern Illinois. He takes the snap. Again, it's Mercer trying to bounce outside of James Love. He does. Makes a cut up at the 40. Taken down by Dorian Harris, but it's enough for the first down up to the 42-yard line.
Mercer showing some quickness to go with the power. A little bit of dancing on the outside, not too bad. But I tell you what, quick cut, good first step from Mercer is what we're seeing here early on.
So the Lions pick up their second first down of the quarter. First by traditional means, if you will. Banks in the pistol set. Mercer to his left. 2 wide receivers to the right. With an H-back on that side as well. Mercer once again plowing to the right side. He's going to be gang tackled by the Crimson Storm at about the 47-yard line, and a penalty flag comes out on the play. It's going to be on the Lions, so that'll back Missouri Southern up.
Well, they're going to have to find an answer for Mercer between the tackles. I mean, he's just kind of tearing them up through there right now. Obviously, they're going to get bailed out by this penalty, but SNU going to have to do a better job diagnosing the run with Mercer and then getting bodies to him. He is a big running back, and it's not going to be arm tackles for Mercer. It's going to be gang tackling everybody to the football, all hands on deck, getting this guy down.
Mercer's 6 foot 190. Senior from Guyton, Georgia, transferred in from Garden City Community College, and in there right now is Taylor Thomas. junior running back.
Seen a little bit about Garden City on Last Chance U.
Indeed. Banks takes the snap, keeps it himself right up the middle. And he's going to be taken down by a host of Storm defenders. They'll give him the 40-yard line. So a gain of 7 on first down.
It's a good time for that call. Good spot. Looks like a read option there for Banks, and does a good job pulling it. Reads outside, pulls it down, takes it straight up the gut. Nice pickup 7. Way to come back after the penalty.
SNU continues to rotate along the defensive line. Against about 7 guys rotating in there. 5 of them freshmen. Banks on the free play, looking down the sidelines, knocked away by Dorian Harris. A flag on the play, thrown by the deep sideline official, the side judge here. Pass was intended for Jonathan Watts.
Flag came in quick. I imagine this is going to be defensive holding more than PI, but we'll see what they call here because the flag was actually on its way, I think, as the ball was being thrown or right after it got thrown.
And it is going to be a holding on Dorian Harris. So that'll be an automatic first down for the Lions.
I don't do color very much, Luke, so you know what? I'm going to feel pretty good about that call right there.
There you go. That's right. Kind of a weird thing.
They
tried
weird.
to get SNU to jump. James Love did, but got back in time, and then the center snapped the ball.
Yeah, Banks almost looked unprepared.
And he wasn't quite ready for it either.
He kind of caught it in his belly and then took off, but, hey, it all works out. First down.
So 3 wide receivers to the right now, tight end on the left side of the line. It's Mercer to the left of Banks. He gets the handoff, trying to cut it upfield, but James Love, crashing down from his outside linebacker position, said, no, sir, no gain on first down.
Maybe a miscommunication. Not really sure who ran the wrong play there, but it looks like Mercer running the counter and came back, and there was nobody who had pulled from the far side. So, just open space and opportunities here for the right side of that defensive line, and good read coming downhill. That front three there, front three for the Crimson Storm.
So 2nd and 10 now for the Lions. Wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Banks gives to Mercer, running around the right side, crosses the 45, and is finally spun down at the SNU 41-yard line. So gain of 9 on second down. It'll be 3rd down and a yard with 7:20 and counting here in the first quarter.
Going to be a great spot for this SNU defense to rise up righteous, see if they can get a tackle. They're going to have to keep Mercer right here or watch Banks. I mean, this would be an opportunity if you're the Lions to run some kind of read option and maybe Mercer keep it instead of Banks keep it instead of sticking it in the gut of Mercer, but we'll see what they decide to do. A little bit of confusion here on the SNU side as well.
And we're going to get a timeout on the far side from Atiba Bradley and the Missouri Southern Lions, and we will take a quick break ourselves and come back right after this timeout.
We get it. You want to advance your career, but without a degree, you're stuck. Maybe you were a few courses shy or didn't go at all, but now you want more. It's not too late. Because at SNU Online, our courses are built for busy adults just like you. We've designed our program so you can log in when it's convenient to you, whether you're at your kid's soccer practice or taking a lunch break at work. With our easy and simple to use online platform, interacting with classmates and professors is a snap. And don't worry, an SNU online degree is the same as if you were face-to-face. And since our students study one class at a time, you can focus on what matters the most in your life. So don't let others pass you by. Join them and apply today.
Welcome back to SNU Football Stadium. A key 3rd down and 1 for Missouri Southern. 6:54 to go first quarter. Banks checks to the sideline. Mercer's the running back beside him. The give is to Mercer, trying to get first down yardage, and they give him the 40-yard line, and that's going to be enough for the first down.
They put Caden Colson, the offensive lineman, back in the fullback spot. And I think everybody in the building thought they were going to run behind Colson. Colson just does a little kick-out block on the back side of that play. Kind of an interesting call there, but way to overload a side and then go to the weak side. That was a good call by the Lions.
So 1st and 10 for Missouri Southern at the SNU 40-yard line. The second offensive possession for the Lions. That ended with the first one ended with a missed field goal. 4 down linemen for SNU. Mercer running left, trying to string it out. Looked like a hold on the outside, and SNU's going to get the call.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, if they didn't get that hold call, that's just blatant disregard. I mean, offensive lineman was draped all over the top of DeMarcus Hawkins, and Hawkins just being corralled by an arm over his shoulder. And so good call there by the officials, and that is cheating. They will back up.
Hawkins, the junior transfer for this SNU defensive line, and Jeremy, the 7 guys that SNU's been rotating in along that 3-man front, all stout guys. In the past, you've seen some smaller guys up there as far as just weight goes, some taller, more lanky guys along the defensive line, but all the guys we were seeing out there today, lanky would probably not be the word to describe them.
No, not at all. Definitely a lot of good size there on that front.
Wide receiver either side, 1st and 20 for the Lions. Banks back to pass. Looking on the outside is going to be Johnson, incomplete on the play. And that was Dorian Harris out there. And now a late penalty flag is going to be thrown from the side judge.
Lions go play action there. They've been running the heck out of the football. They go play action, little comeback route here on the near side. Good throw, but even better defense there. Gets there right on time. And
it's just going to be a sideline warning.
Yeah.
So no penalty on that one. But certainly SNU defensive staff down there and defensive coordinator Adam Langvart having some words with their players on the sideline. SNU, certainly excited to be playing this game and this little 4-game season, but still it's a great opportunity to practice everything, including sideline composure.
Mm-hmm.
So 2nd and 20 for the Lions. 5:39 to go, first quarter. 2 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Stoshak, the man in motion. Banks gives to Taylor Thomas, and he's going to be corralled in the backfield. Dylan Bauer back there for the tackle for loss, along with number 91 for SNU.
Bauer doing a great job working downhill, works off of a block, and then comes in, completes the tackle. And, man, I tell you what, that's the way you like to see it. Your linebackers coming downhill, shaking off blocks, tackles for loss. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that from the defensive side.
There's going to be Jason Gully in there on the tackle as well, and another flag. And we've got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, this time on Missouri Southern. It's going to be on number 60 for the Lions. That's Lepo Tito Fa'ulalau. I'm sorry. We'll get him right. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 36 all the way back at the Missouri Southern 34-yard line.
I don't envy you at all. Not even a little, man.
Number 60 for the Lions with the personal foul after the play. So SNU showing emotion, and Missouri Southern kind of going forward as well. 3 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. Probably would anticipate just a handoff and get out of here. Mercer running right, trying to cut upfield, and he's going to be hit by Elijah Calhoun. A big stick at the 39-yard line. Mercer stayed up on that hit, but was finally corralled by the Crimson Storm defense. We've got an injured Storm player down at the SNU 35-yard line.
Yeah, that's Hawkins, who's back here a little bit slow to get up, either an ankle or a knee. I'm thinking he keeps grabbing back at that right ankle.
So the trainer's out there to attend to him. It'll be 4th down and 29 from the 41-yard line. Doesn't seem to be in too much pain, as the trainer now kind of examining Hawkins' right leg, ankle area. But Jeremy, SNU, again, the Lions got into SNU territory, and they bowed up courtesy of some penalties, of course, but made some plays on the outside defensively and in the run game as well.
Yeah, doing a good job. Obviously, coming downhill, working through blocks to get to the run. They stretch plays toward the sidelines, and that sideline is the best defender because it's undefeated. It stays undefeated. So anytime you can stretch those plays out along the sideline or along the line of scrimmage, it's good, and they did a good job of that to stop the outside run on this possession.
Believe that is still Nick Williams, who's on to punt for Missouri Southern. Sends a high spiraling punt down to Reed Roloffs, who fair catches it at the 27-yard line. And that is where SNU will start 1st and 10 as they go on offense for just the second time today with 4:38 to go in the first quarter.
I was going to say that the time of possession a little bit lopsided here early in this one for sure. The Lions making good use of their possessions. No scores yet, but definitely hanging on to the football for a while. SNU is definitely going to want to see a little bit more success coming out of this one. They just backed up 9 yards on that first possession, so we'll see if they kind of change their strategy here going into the second possession.
And we'll see if SNU takes advantage at all of having the wind at their back. You got the 3-back set here for the Crimson Storm.
Uh-oh.
And then we have a delay of game coming out of the possession change. There was no on-field timeout, and SNU a little slow getting out of the huddle on the sideline. So now 1st and 15 for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, that's a penalty that the coaching staff is going to have to own right there.
Porter takes a snap, fakes, looking down the middle. He's got Roloffs running on the post. It's high, but Roloffs with a tremendous leaping, spinning catch at the 48-yard line. What a huge play for Reed Roloffs.
Roloffs finds tons of room down the seam, gets wide open, and Porter just overthrows him and puts it behind him. Roloffs, an unbelievable play to bail out Porter, and, huge gain there.
Quick screen pass out to Tisdale. Tisdale with a nice block from Colby Branch gets down to the 40-yard line as SNU going fast on that play.
Winder just about got to that one coming off of the end for the Lions. Swiped at it, but it wasn't to be, and a nice pickup there on first down. SNU rolling now through the air versus trying to work on the ground.
2nd and 3 for the Crimson Storm. They keep the skill guys out there. Branch and Roloffs to the to the right. Alvarado in the slot as well from that tight end spot. Shellmeyer, the back behind Porter. Alvarado, the man in motion. They give us to Shellmeyer up the middle. Cuts it back to the right, and he does not quite get enough for the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1 as he got down to the Missouri Southern 38-yard line.
Interesting strategy here. They stack up the backfield, and then they throw out of it, and then they spread things back out and run out of it.
Then a quick set, and Porter leans across and should have enough for the first down, and he does.
And I think that's where they're going to find some success right there, Luke, is going to be spreading things out, making everybody honor the receivers out on the edges, and then finding some space to run with that versus stacking guys in, 2 backs, that kind of thing. They're going to have problems if they allow the Lions to stack the box, especially with this young offensive line.
So 1st and 10 for SNU at the 37-yard line of Missouri Southern. Keep the diamond formation with Branch and Tisdale flanking Porter. Now Tisdale goes out to the left. Porter looking to the left, now comes back right, has to scramble, and he will run and scamper out of bounds at about the 32-yard line.
Solid little pump fake there, buys him a few more steps and lets him get to the edge. That little pump makes the linebacker check up for just a second, and with that pump fake by Porter, he allows him to pick up a couple of extra yards, making something positive out of a play that was otherwise busted.
And that chatter on the outside continuing between Porter and the cornerback for Missouri Southern, who we think is Dylan Bolden, but we're not 100% sure. Diamond formation again for SNU. Porter turns, fakes the give to Shellmeyer. Now an option look to the outside, pitches to Tisdale. running right, and he is decked out of bounds by number 20, Malachi Broadnax, the third leading tackler on this Missouri Southern team, and he rocks the baby at the SNU sidelines, coming back to his safety position. Had 60 tackles a season ago, including 5.5 tackles for loss. He's a senior.
Broadnax ended up on his tail, though, too, so I don't really know exactly what he was bragging about, but, hey.
Minute and a half to go, first quarter. SNU driving into Missouri Southern territory. It's 3rd and 2 from the 29-yard line. Porter fakes the lookout, now scampers up the middle. He's got the first down.
It's a really good design quarterback run there. What a great place to call it. Spread everything completely out and then just let Porter take it right up the gut. Again, these Lions are having to honor the guys on the outside because Porter can throw it around too. So that's the problem when you have a dual threat quarterback like Gage Porter, and, it's on full display there on 3rd down. Pick up the first down.
Pick up a 5 to the 24-yard line. We're under a minute to go first quarter. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Dalton Sanders joining roll-offs out there to the left. Porter in the pistol set, branches the man in motion to the right side. Porter looks left, now again, scampers right over the middle. He's got nothing but grass in front of him, falling Grayson Winters. He cuts back to the end zone. Touchdown, Crimson Storm.
A fantastic block downfield. Grayson Winters gets not just to the 2nd level, but to the 3rd level. Ends up all the way down inside the 10-yard line before he finally catches any contact. He just paves the road. Easy to do. You could have driven a truck through that hole. We could have scored with that truck. Touchdown Storm.
Yeah, Grayson Winters was like, I'm just out here running sprints.
That's exactly
it's just a 20-yard sprint for me from the 20 to the goal line. Gillespie on for the extra point, sends it up and through. So with 36 seconds to go in the first quarter, SNU leading 7-0 against Missouri Southern. We'll take a quick break and come back after this. Welcome back to Bethany. SNU leading 7-0, 36 seconds to go in the first quarter as the Crimson Storm strike first against the Lions and lead this one 7-0. Baylor Gillespie handling the kicking duties today, the true freshman for the Crimson Storm. He's got it teed up at the 35-yard line, and the wind says, no, sir, we'll try it again.
So we see a lot of work out of that diamond formation, and then we see a couple of design quarterback runs out of the spread. Kind of a nice little mix up there by this offensive coaching staff for SNU, and obviously a possession that ends up in a touchdown versus the first possession, which was pretty ugly. So fantastic job there, changing play calling up.
Gillespie the run up and the boot, a high end over end kick once again, and Missouri Southern. Yeah, he fields it, but he slips down at the 15-yard line. An unfortunate slip there for number 24, Gervin Livingston, the redshirt freshman from Houston, Texas.
I'm sure he wishes he had that one back.
Well, it looked for a half second like he signaled for a fair catch, but then he kept running, and unfortunate. So it'll be Missouri Southern football at their own 15-yard line with 35.5 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Banks the quarterback, 3 wide receivers to the right for him. Sticks it in the belly of Thomas, trying to cut up the middle. He's going to be taken down by number 92 for SNU. That's Mason Williams, the freshman nose guard for the Crimson Storm. And unless Missouri feels like running another play, I don't believe they do. That might have been the final play of the first quarter, and they're heading toward the sideline. So that'll be it for the first quarter in Bethany as the final 10 seconds tick off the clock. Missouri Southern controlled the ball for, I guess, a majority of the quarter,
Yeah.
Jeremy, but SNU on the high side on the scoreboard at the end of one. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, the start of the second quarter in Bethany with SNU leading after one, 7-0. Welcome back to Bethany. 2nd down and 7 for Missouri Southern as we start the second period here at SNU Football Stadium. Banks cutting it up the middle. He's met by Cole Kizik, and then a host of Crimson Storm defenders take him down right there. And it'll be 3rd down for the Lions.
Well, after that first quarter, interesting to kind of see Mercer, 5 carries, 84 yards. Or 83 yards really total. They're going to have to find an answer for him coming into this second quarter for sure, because he's going to eclipse the 100-yard mark quick.
Yeah, those. We'll revisit those stats at halftime because Johnson was the one who caught that deep pass, and he's not even listed on here. So we'll get those corrected for you. Banks on 3rd down, steps up in the pocket, has to fling it out to a wide-open Mercer, but it goes off his hands in front of the SNU sideline. But great pressure up front. I believe that was Williams once again with some pressure for the Crimson Storm. Big number 98 for SNU was out there as well. That's Michael Daniel. So excellent possession defensively for SNU, getting the quick 3-and-out. And the Lions forced to punt back to Reed Roloffs and the Crimson Storm.
We were talking about time and possession in the first quarter, 12 minutes and 8 seconds for Missouri Southern.
Didn't feel like that drive was that short, though, for SNU. Here's the punt. A high spiraling Kent Roloffs fields it at the 34, makes one man miss, cuts up field, and is finally taken down at the 40-yard line. And that is where SNU will go into business on offense for the 3rd time today with 13:55 to go in the first half. And Jeremy, SNU on the ground and through the air thus far, pretty balanced on those two fronts. 58 total yards of offense, but a lot of that stymied a little bit by the 9 yards of negative offense on the first possession of the game. But that last drive for the Crimson Storm, excellent in all regards. A 73-yard drive that took 4 minutes off the clock.
Yeah, it was a fantastic drive. There's no doubt about that. And, obviously going to be looking to do more of the same. Be interesting to see how the Lions kind of answer Missouri Southern. Going to have to figure out how to manage the edges on the run. They're going to have to figure out how to handle the pass mid-range downfield. And, as the answer is going to tend to be, it looks like going into the next season or so, it's going to be answering the Gage Porter question. Can you control him as a passer and a runner at the same time? He's a guy that can do them both, and we saw that obviously on this last possession, so going to be interesting to see what they do moving ahead into this the 3rd SNU possession of the evening.
Coach Hayda told us they can run out of 50 different formations, and so far we've seen several of them. We've seen the diamond set, and we've seen single back. We've seen consider some other things as well as Tisdale runs off the field. Diamond set here, Roloffs out to the left by himself. The give is to Dalton Sanders. chugging left, gets a nice block from Shellmeyer. Sanders able to turn the corner, goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Actually, they'll give him the 46, so a pickup of 6 on first down for SNU.
Good block there by Shellmeyer coming out to the near side, finding a guy to get a hat on, and he springs this one for 5 or 6 yards. That run doesn't go anywhere without Shellmeyer getting out on the edge and making sure and setting the edge.
So 2nd and 4 for SNU, moving right to left into a stiff north breeze.
Yeah.
The flags across the way in full display. Porter looked for the quick slant. It wasn't there. Went to the second window. Roloffs was decked by number 5, Richard Jordan, coming across from his linebacker position. Roloffs thought he got there early. No flag.
Porter trying to sneak that into a really tight window there. A couple of different Lions in the area. He's kind of lucky that one ends up falling to the turf harmlessly, but that's a couple of throws that we've seen on quick slants, inside stuff that have been a little bit off target. So obviously something that we're going to have to pay attention to as we move ahead.
8 on the play clock as the Crimson Storm come to the line of scrimmage. Wide receiver to either side. Shellmeyer the back. Sanders the man in motion. Porter gets the snap off just in time. Looking. Now the pocket collapses around him. He steps out of one tackle, floats it over the middle to Branch, and it's knocked away as number 36, Jaquan Allen, came across and knocked that one out of Colby Branch's hands. Looked like Branch had it secured and was going to be a crazy third down conversion, but Allen came across and with the contact knocked that one away from Branch.
You'd really like to see Porter get a little bit set up. I know he comes out of there, the pocket collapses on him, but when he gets to the outside edge, he had some time. You'd like to see him get set up there, at least plant a foot and put that ball on Branch versus floating it to him. Maybe you convert that a little bit easier right there.
Roll-offs on to punt. Sends this one. It's a wobbler that goes into the SNU sideline at the 45-yard line.
Well, that wind is nasty.
So officially a 9-yard punt for roll-offs that looked like one of my drives off the tee.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a straight left hook there.
Yeah. With
that wind, just unreal.
If your
today.
drive was with a pitching wedge. Here's a question for you.
Nothing wrong with that sometimes.
No. Actually, I find more success that way. If you are going north right now in this ball game with the wind as strong as it is going north to south, and you're around midfield, you go for it right there probably.
It's a spring game too. Why not?
Yeah,
Let it
why
all
not?
hang out.
Let it all hang out. That's right.
We will. We'll definitely see that offensively today. I mean, you heard Dustin Hayda, as we mentioned earlier, Coach Hayda wanting to put as much out there as possible offensively, try a little bit of everything, and so we'll see what they're able to do on that front. But with just about 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter, it'll be the Lions with the football, moving left to right.
Now they have the wind at their back for the first time offensively. It'd be interesting to see if they kind of open the playbook up a little bit here.
Banks back to pass. Right as you say that. Looking over the middle, it's too tall for Stoshak. Jaden Stoshak, the sophomore. 10 receptions, 113 yards in 2019, but it was just too high for him. Good coverage there by the Crimson Storm as well.
One thing that we always talk about is, the difficulty of playing into the wind. And certainly when you're working with quarterbacks, and I've coached quarterbacks a long time, you work with them working into the wind, but you also want to work with them working with the wind as well, because the ball is going to go further. Just like it affects you in your face, it's going to affect you at your back too. And so that one just sliding away right there on the first down play.
2nd and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Banks back to pass again. Throws it down the middle. Mercer running up the seam just off his hands. Had a step on Dylan Bauer. But Mercer unable to reel that in with one hand. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
So Jalen Banks, just like I said on the play before, Jalen Banks having a tough time dialing it in to not put too much air under the ball now that they're going with the wind at their back. And it's at times it's just as difficult as fighting into the wind going with the wind. So be interesting to see if they can figure it out here on 3rd down.
3rd and 10. Good opportunity for the Crimson Storm. Mercer splits out to the left. Quick pass out to Johnson on the outside, and it was Josh Johnson with the coverage. Jonathan Watts was the intended receiver, and Josh Johnson in coverage, the sophomore from Borger, Texas, breaks that one up. It'll be 4th down.
Little shimmy there at the end of that one for Johnson, and rightfully so. Gets there right on time, plays it well, hand on the hip, arm through. Good job by Johnson, and that's what you like to see, 3 and out. But, just like we talked about before this possession started, going to be interesting to see if the Lions switched it up on offense. And sure enough, 3 straight passes there on this possession with the wind at their back.
Punts away for the Lions. It's going to come down to roll-offs at the 15 with the fair catch. And that is where the Crimson Storm will go into business with 12:28 to go in the second quarter. That play by Josh Johnson, a tremendous play. He played outside linebacker a season ago for the Storm as a freshman, and now a long, lanky guy, now being asked to play cornerback for the Crimson Storm, and did a nice job a week ago and a really nice job in play on that particular 3rd down.
Well, a guy that plays outside linebacker a lot of times can make that transition to the defensive back spot a little bit easier just because, they do have to do some pass coverage out there, and he looked natural doing it. Fantastic job on coverage.
Porter takes the snap, fakes the give, running outside, pitches it late to Colby Branch, and it's fumbled, and it's going to be recovered by the Lions at the 15-yard line.
Well, you teach a quarterback when you're running the option, hang on to the ball as long as you can, make guys on the outside commit to you, and then get it out. Porter hangs on to it just a touch too long. The problem with that philosophy and the problem with that play is that it's super dangerous because you end up with stuff like that, and he waits just a split second too long, and the defense has to come back out and take a stand here inside the red zone. The Lions find themselves down around the 15-yard line.
12:20 to go in the first half. First turnover of the game for either squad. Banks the quarterback. He's got Thomas beside him. Takes the snap. The give is to Taylor Thomas, and he's going to be pushed the pile forward across the 15-yard line. He'll get down to the 13, so a gain of 2 on first down for the Lions junior running back.
Yeah, really interesting to see there that, they continue to go with the counterplay over and over and over. It's kind of been the bread and butter for this Lion team offensively for at least here these first quarter and a half or whatever, but continuing to run that counterplay, trying to pick up yards on first and second down.
Banks checks to the sideline, 11:40 to go second quarter, SNU leading 7-0. The give is to Thomas up the middle, bouncing off tacklers, finally taken down at about the 6. Trenton Smith in on the tackle for SNU, along with freshman linebacker Josh Lopez, who Coach Hayda described as a, quote, skull-cracking dude. One of the most described as the most physical player, potentially the most physical player on the entire team as a true freshman, which is certainly high praise.
I mean, when football coaches talk like that, that's serious business.
Thomas trying to get the first down, hemmed in the backfield and taken down. It's number 22 for the Crimson Storm. That's Aaron Randle, the redshirt freshman, coming up from his safety spot. No gain on the play. It's 4th and 1.
Yeah, absolutely, and Kel Fouts also finding himself there at the point of contact as well. Good job working downhill by this SNU linebacking core yet again. But, man, I tell you what, they love them a little bit of contact for sure.
So 4th and 1, the Lions going for it. Actually spotted at the 7, so it's 4th and 2.
Yeah.
Pistol set. Mercer's back in there at running back. He's got it running up the middle. He's got the first down as he plows down to about the 3-yard line.
So they have gone counter out of that single back look multiple times already early on. That time they just go power straight downhill, run it straight up the gut, and it works out pretty well there on 4th down, able to convert here with 10 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
So 1st and goal from the 2 for the Lions, looking to tie the score as we're under 10 minutes to go first half. Banks standing at the 7-yard line with Mercer to his right. It's going to be Mercer trying to get outside, and he scampers into the end zone past Cole Kizik. And the Lions on the board with 9:40 to go in the first half.
Kizik gets sucked back into the middle by just a step, and that was all it took as Mercer was able to turn on the Jets, a guy that has shown obviously some speed and some power here early in this ball game. And they get on the board for the first time tonight, do the Lions. Nice little run to the outside there by Mercer, and Kizik just unable to recorrect after getting sucked up to the middle.
On for the PAT will be Nick Williams, and he sends it up and good. So with 9:40 to go in the first half, we are tied at 7 in Bethany, and we'll take a quick break and come back right after this.
At SNU, we recognize the sacrifices made by our nation's veterans and their families. Whether you're looking to move up in the ranks or start a new career, we have degree options and support systems in place that will help you find success during and after college. SNU has a team dedicated to helping you make the most of your VA benefits for education and the post-9/11 GI Bill. Together, we'll find the academic support you need and connect you to support groups in your local community, whether you study on campus or online. Going back to school can be a streamlined, rewarding process. Let us show you how. To learn more, visit pgs.snu.edu/veterans.
And welcome back to Bethany. We're all tied up at 7. A good football game thus far between the Crimson Storm and the Missouri Southern State Lions coming down from Joplin. Little cross-conference action in the spring. Something that this spring has allowed SNU to do is play some teams that they've never gotten to play before. They played UT Permian Basin a couple weeks back. They've got Missouri Southern today. Next Saturday, they travel up the road to Central Oklahoma. And with the Great American Conference having 12 teams, a full 11-game season takes care of all conference games. So this is an opportunity for SNU to see some players and teams they normally wouldn't see in a regular season. So a cool opportunity for the Crimson Storm, regardless of how you view the 4-game spring season. Williams, the run-up and the boot for the Lions, and it goes out of the end zone, taking advantage of that wind, and bounces all the way up under that pine tree over there on the far end of the football field. So the SNU Crimson Storm will come out 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
That's the most Oklahoma play-by-play call you've had all night. It bounces up under that pine tree over there in the corner.
That's right.
Yeah, no, hey, to your point earlier, 4-game schedule, whatever it is, any chance to suit up and get to see things for real in live time and live action is always good, especially when you missed a whole season in the fall. So, this coaching staff's got to be happy with something versus nothing.
Absolutely. So the Crimson Storm out there, receiver to either side, diamond formation in the backfield around Gage Porter. The give is to Colby Branch, running right, trying to pick his way, and he's going to be taken down for a loss of 1. That's going to be Jamie Tago out there, the defensive lineman out there with the play for the Lions.
Yeah, kind of interesting to see him kind of going back to that pistol look and the more straight run outside. Not successful there in the first quarter with that, and so we'll see kind of how they manage it ahead.
2 wide receivers either side for Porter. Shellmeyer is the back. He is to the right of Gage Porter. Porter throws it out quickly to Tisdale, makes one man miss, cuts up field, and gets out of bounds. See where they mark that. It's going to be at about, they're going to mark it actually back at the 26-yard line is where he stepped out.
It's good work there by Porter, getting the ball in his hands and getting it out just as quick as possible. That is the thing that makes this play tick. When you're talking about that quick outside throw like that, is how fast can the quarterback convert from catch to throw, and Porter does a fantastic job right there.
This will be 3rd down and 4 from the SNU 31-yard line. They need the 35. Substitutions out there for SNU. Number 84, Dalen Smith out there now. Porter gives it to, I believe that is Shellmeyer, trying to get upfield, and just a gain of 1 for Christian Shellmeyer on 3rd down. So SNU will be forced to punt here on 4th down.
Boy, I don't know if you do punt right here, 4th down and 2. You netted about 9 yards last time with the reserve punter in. It'd be kind of interesting to see what they decide to do here.
Offense staying out there, as you said, Jeremy. We'll see. Still plenty of time on the play clock. 17 as Porter gives instructions to the offensive line. 7:45 to go first half. So 4th and 3 from the 32-yard line. Diamond formation again around Porter. 3 on the play clock. SNU going for it. Porter looking. Now he's scrambling around in the backfield, looking for help. Fires it downfield, looking for Alvarado. Oh, and he caught it in traffic.
Wow.
Inside the 40-yard line goes Jaren Alvarado. Roll-offs nearly intercepted his own teammate, but Alvarado managed to catch it in traffic, and a huge chunk play for the Crimson Storm.
Great play there by Alvarado to really see that one in all the traffic. But let's talk about that arm that Gage Porter just showed, firing that one into the wind. That's a rocket.
Porter swings it out, and it's a short screen pass there to Jarrell Farr, the wide receiver for SNU. The true freshman had 1 rush for 4 yards a week ago. He gets 2 on that play, down to the Lions' 36-yard line with 6:40 to go in the first half, and SNU will take a quick breather after going fast on that play. We've seen that a couple times, Jeremy. They go fast off a big chunk play and then take their time on 2nd down.
Yeah, I'm just trying to take advantage of the momentum, and I like that. They had used a little bit more pace at times last week. Kind of interesting to see them slowing it down this week, but we'll see kind of how things progress.
Andrew Tisdale on the sideline getting some work done. Porter trying to get it out of the belly of Shellmeyer, finally does, and then steps back, throws downfield for roll-offs, and he got the catch at the 24-yard line. What a play from Gage Porter. Unbelievable.
So an RPO there from Gage Porter. He keeps that thing in the gut of the running back until the absolute last second. I'm pretty sure there was a convergence between the running back and the defender in the backfield before Porter pulls that one out. He runs to the sideline. His first look was to take off. It wasn't there. He was trapped up against the sidelines, fires a dart downfield. Unbelievable play, and some creativity showing right there for Gage Porter. My goodness.
Unreal. 1st and 10, SNU at the 23. Porter looks right, gives it to Farr. Up the middle, got a nice block from Carrion, but he's just tripped up by, I believe that was number 30 for the Lions, TJ Davis. Just got tripped up or he was going to score.
It was a good draw. I mean, they sold it. They absolutely sold the draw play and handed it off at the very last second. And I tell you what, that looked like green grass and white stripes. Shoestring was the difference between him and the end zone right there. I'm still just – my mind is blown from that last play. That was unbelievable.
Everyone in tight except for Sanders, who's wide left. Smith goes in motion. Porter looking right, slip screen to Smith across the middle, and he is going to be wrestled to the ground with authority by number 37 for the Lions. That's Oakley Rossler.
That was Colton Winder there, Luke, number 31, the linebacker.
Big hit in the middle on the first contact there as well. I believe that was Davis once again from his linebacker position. So it'll be 3rd down and 6, about 7 in fact, from the 20. They need to get to the 18. Or excuse me, the 13. And then false start, I believe, is going to be the call here for the Crimson Storm with 4:10 to go before halftime.
Yeah, I definitely don't like to see that. 3rd down and medium now turns into 3rd down and long. You're working behind the sticks. Wind in your face, which, I mean, Porter obviously showing on a couple of throws downfield that he doesn't mind that so much, but, still like to be medium to short on 3rd down, and now they're going to have to work from behind the sticks.
And now SNU is going to burn a timeout with 3:54 to go in the first half. We will take timeout as well as we're tied at 7. SNU marching toward the Missouri Southern Red Zone. We'll be back after this.
Hello and welcome to our broadcast. My name is Danny Thomason and I am the Director of Intercollegiate Athletics here at Southern Nazarene University. You know, we compete in 16 varsity sports in Division II NCAA, and we could not pull that off without the help of a lot of wonderful sponsors. And so we would like to take this opportunity during the broadcast to say thank you to so many of our wonderful sponsors that help makes our athletic competitions possible. So thank you and enjoy the remainder of the broadcast. Bolts up.
Welcome back to Bethany. 3rd down and 12 for the Crimson Storm, just inside the Missouri Southern 25-yard line. 3 wide receivers right. Alvarado, the tight end, to the left. That's Smith. Porter, pump fakes, looking for help. Now he's in trouble, rolling to the right. Finds Roloff's wide open over the middle, but threw it behind him.
Again, something that we see by Porter is once he has to get mobile in the pocket, pocket collapsing or play breaking down, he gets outside. He does a good job controlling what's happening in the pocket, and feeling what's happening in the pocket. But the problem is that once he gets outside of the pocket and he decides to throw, he's not planting his feet and moving toward the target. And so, he had space there. It's not like he was under duress. Once he moved the pocket, he had room to throw the football and just didn't get set and then puts a bad throw down the field.
And Roloff's probably would have scored on that.
Yeah.
He was wide open. Porter back to pass on 4th down. No field goal as they're going into the wind. Porter rolling to the right, has lots of space. Looking for help. Now he slips down, and he kept his footing, apparently, and throws it toward the end zone. It's incomplete. We got a flag down from the head linesman on the near sideline. Missouri Southern thought Porter slipped down, but he put his left hand down to keep his balance.
Yeah, he caught himself. His butt didn't hit the ground. Neither did his forearm. And so I think he was still on his feet, pushes back up, and then ends up throwing towards the end zone to Shellmeyer, but just unable to get it there. Obviously, the wind playing a factor there, but we'll see what this penalty flag is about. As long as that play went on, it may have been a hold. I don't know.
The referee was having some discussions with the Missouri Southern sideline. Not sure what the flag is going to be. It could be a hold either way, given how long the play went on, Jeremy. We'll get the call here. And there is no foul on the play.
Yeah, anytime a play starts going long, as it extends and anything outside of like 3 to 5 seconds immediately after the snap, that's when holding calls increase just because guys are trying to hang on to blocks for a lot longer than they're used to. Plays are supposed to develop a lot quicker than that. And so, interesting to see what that call was going to be, but it is nothing. So we'll play on. 1st down, Missouri Southern on the turnover on downs.
Dustin Hayda apparently satisfied with the explanation from the head linesman. So we will head the other way. 1st and 10 for the Lions. They scored on their last possession to knot the score at 7. Banks is the quarterback in the pistol set. Gets the snap. Turns and hands it in the belly to Mercer, cutting up to the left side, and he runs over one tackler, Trenton Smith, and taken down by Calhoun up at the 27-yard line. So give him 3 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Something that they were doing well early on, talking about this SNU defense, was extending plays to the sidelines and keeping things going right to left versus north and south. Something they're going to have to get back to if they want to contain Mercer.
Banks checks to the sideline. 10 on the play clock. So he gets the signal. Wide receivers shift around. Banks just gets it off. Rolls out to the right. Looking down the field. Fires it toward the sideline through the hands of his wide receiver. That's Jordan Smith, who is belted into the sideline by Trent Smith. And it'll be 3rd down and 7.
Tell you what, Banks having a tough time dialing in the football downfield. I don't know if we've seen a accurate pass from him in a minute. Obviously, that one on the run, but still a guy that was open along the sidelines, and he just missed him.
Hawkins comes back off for SNU, limping slightly, but good to see him back out there for the Crimson Storm. 2 wide receivers either side on 3rd and 7. 2:39 to go, first half. Banks back to pass. Got some time now. Flush left. He's got lots of space. Dorian Harris chasing him down. Gets him down short of the sticks. We'll see where the official spots him. It is going to be, I believe, a yard short.
Missouri Southern sideline thought he had made it. He stretches the ball out towards the sticks, but I think he was a yard short for sure. And so,
great play by Dorian Harris coming over from his cornerback position. Bailed on the receiver route and chased down Banks right before the sticks. So the Lions on to punt.
And I don't think SNU was ready for the punt necessarily.
High end over end kick. Harris is back deep. It bounces, and he fields it at the 10. Lost the football,
gosh.
And Missouri Southern's going to pick it up inside the 5-yard line. So
there was a ton of
play there for the Crimson Storm special teams / defense. So, yeah, the defense stayed out there looking for maybe a 4th down sneak, but then didn't get roll-offs out there in time when it was clear that they were going to punt it away. And Harris let it bounce, and then it bounced at him, so he tried to field it.
And Coach Hayda runs all the way down, showing Harris where to line up. He calls the fair catch and lets it bounce. At that point, you thought he was just going to let it roll through, and then he tries to catch it off the one hop. Just not a good day for that. I mean, the football is going to be coming off doing all sorts of weird stuff, and especially with the wind and everything else, that's just it's a pretty tough play.
Give is to Taylor Thomas, trying to plow his way into the end zone, does not get there. It'll be 2nd and goal. Lopez down there for the Crimson Storm, along with Nick Blanchard.
Well, a good defense.
2nd and goal from the 2.
Good defensive stand, and, SNU looking like they were going to get the football back, maybe work on the 2-minute offense a little bit. Unfortunately, that is a big error right here at the end of the quarter. We'll see if they can rise up righteous here with a goal line stand.
Coming up on a minute to play, first half. Taylor again into the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Lions with 1 minute to go in the first half. So the turnover on the muffed punt proves costly for the Crimson Storm as Missouri Southern takes their first lead of the ball game.
Yeah, that's that's pretty tough to stomach if you're Coach Hayda and this SNU sideline. You had forced a punt, did a good job making a defensive stand, and then ends up being a turnover on a muffed punt and a touchdown that gives them the lead with 1 minute left to go in the half.
Extra point is up and good. So with 1 minute to go before halftime, 14-7. Missouri Southern grabs the lead over SNU. And Jeremy, overall, we've seen a solid drive for SNU. We've seen really 2 solid drives for SNU offensively. One that resulted in the touchdown, one that ended up in the turnover on downs on that last possession. But overall, how would you assess the first half thus far for the Crimson Storm?
Well, I mean, obviously, offensively playing pretty solid, especially these last 2 drives. This will be only their 4th offensive possession, and this one will probably just kind of be a half of an offensive possession. But, the last 2 especially doing a good job running the football and making some 3rd down conversions. That was a thing that really stuck out, especially this last drive, converting some 3rd downs, doing a good job moving down. But, some penalties have cost them, especially just jumping off sides and things like that, pushing them back behind the sticks, and that's what ended up causing the turnover on downs in this last possession. So, just going to have to clean some of those things up. But, hey, 4-game spring schedule kind of helps narrow those things down a little bit.
Indeed. Williams on to kick for Missouri Southern. high end-over-end kick. Be fielded by SNU at the 2. Running to the left side. Now cutting back to the middle. That's going to be a block in the back.
Yeah.
On the Crimson Storm.
That one was pretty bad.
Yep. That was as blatant as you can get it there. Number 86, Calvin Brantley, was the returner on the play. So we'll see where the so we will get the announcement from the official. So two penalties on the Crimson Storm there. One hold, one block in the back. So they'll mark it off 10 yards from the 20-yard line. So SNU will go 1st and 10.
Well, that's definitely gonna back things up and add insult to injury. There's no doubt about it. So it'll be interesting to kind of see what SNU does here. Probably just run the football and get out of the quarter. Get out of the half, rather.
1st and 10 at the 10. 51 seconds to go. SNU 2 wide to either side. That's Angel Hernandez in the backfield, I believe. He catches it, makes one cut up the middle, across the 20-yard line, runs over the umpire who got part of the dog pile there.
Yeah, the official found himself in a really bad spot as he gets tangled up on that play.
A little more contact than he was counting on today.
No, he definitely wasn't dressed for that.
So a pickup of 12 for Ramirez in his first carry of the game. So SNU back with 1st and 10 at the 22. Farr, the man in motion. He's got it running around the outside. He turns the corner and steps out of bounds at the 32-yard line. So another first down for the Crimson Storm on a pickup of 10 around the corner for Jarrell Farr.
Interesting that they're ripping off chunks of yards here on the run. 26 seconds left. I don't know if you've really picked up enough yet. I mean, you started at the 10. You're now only out to the 32. I don't know if you've picked up enough yet that you start taking shots or anything crazy like that. But, hey, it could get interesting if they pick up another first down or two right here.
Hey, with Gage Porter, lots could happen.
I was like, this guy's got a cannon.
Ramirez
attached.
moves out to the left. They swing it out to him. Nice block on the outside by Sanders. Ramirez shoestring tackle up to the 38-yard line, and that'll be a timeout for the Crimson Storm with 17 seconds to go in the half. Up to the 38, so a gain of 6.
Jalen Alexander does a good job. He gets capped off on the outside, but he does a good job to make sure and just continue fighting, working toward the football. He ends up just getting a piece of the receiver there, knocking him a little bit off course and slowed him down just enough that ends up allowing guys to come in and collapse on top of that play. So, decent play on the outside. He does get capped off. Good block out there, but defensive back does a good job of working through that block and at least slowing the play down to allow other Lions to show up.
Jalen Alexander, the Tulsa Memorial product by way of Los Angeles Valley Community College, how he found his way over to Joplin. One of several Oklahoma players on this Missouri Southern roster. One of the backup kickers, Gordon Stevens, Broken Arrow redshirt freshman, and Jaden West, a backup linebacker, a freshman from Moore High School. A little bit of Oklahoma flavor on this Missouri Southern team. Tisdale, the man in motion to the top of the formation. Porter, quarterback draw all the way. He's got blockers in front of him. Gets to the outside, 45, and scampers out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
Well,
with 11 seconds to go in the first half.
Speaking of a 45, he just takes a 45-degree angle straight to the sidelines. Good job there being field aware and time aware if you're Gage Porter. I mean, he was out inside the hash mark, and he cuts it straight toward the sidelines knowing he was running out of space. Fantastic heads-up play there by Gage Porter and just gives him an opportunity to keep fighting with 11 seconds left, down by 7 here in the first half.
One timeout left for the Crimson Storm. 11 seconds to go, first half. Porter again, back to pass. Missouri Southern not rushing too hard. Now Porter in trouble, and he's going to be taken down for a sack back at the 35-yard line, and that's how the first half is going to come to an end here in Bethany. So SNU took an early 7-0 lead, but Missouri Southern scored to answer and then took advantage of an SNU turnover, and it's the Lions who lead at the break 14-7. We'll take a break and come back with first half stats and analysis and get you ready for the second half of action in Bethany. Again, your score at halftime, Missouri Southern 14 and Southern Nazarene 7. We'll be back after this. And welcome back to Bethany. Halftime at SNU Football Stadium as the Crimson Storm trail Missouri Southern 14-7. The Crimson Storm will get the ball to start the second half. Luke McConnell with Jeremy Coleman. Ben Bumpus running the camera for us today on the SNU Video Network for another matinee spring game. SNU 0-2 in this spring season thus far. And the Crimson Storm in the first half, 145 yards on 31 plays in the first half. Jeremy, they did a little bit through the air, did a little bit on the ground. Good things on both sides offensively for the Crimson Storm in the first half.
Yeah, obviously after that first possession, you saw some bright spots. There's no doubt about it. But, something that's sticking out is still a young, inexperienced offensive line, and you don't really know what you're going to get from them play to play. Also, something else that you'd like to see is Porter making some quicker decisions when he drops back to simply pass. When it is a deal where he's going to set up in the pocket, quick drop, and then scan, sometimes it seems like he hangs onto the football a little bit too long, not making decisions quick enough. So going to be kind of interesting to see, how they adjust coming into the second half. But again, pretty decent showing there. 71 on the ground for Porter there in the first half, and 97 passing on 8 of 13 passing there in the first half. So taking his first sack in 2 weeks. He didn't take one last week at all, and then took one there at the very end of the half. So just about 6 quarters of football without taking a sack, and showing some moxie there, feeling the pocket out.
Defensively for the Crimson Storm, they gave up that big chunk play on the reverse double pass on the very first play from scrimmage, but overall the defense has been pretty solid. Missouri Southern had a good drive on their second possession where they moved down the field pretty well, got down to about the 40-yard line of SNU, had a couple penalties in the drive, kind of fizzled out from there. But the Crimson Storm has done well defensively today against Missouri Southern, haven't allowed them to really get going offensively. And Missouri Southern's both of their touchdowns were drives that started in the red zone due to turnovers for the Crimson Storm.
Well, and I think the first fumble play ended up around the 15-yard line, working in for Missouri Southern, and then obviously the muffed punt ends up on the 2-yard line. So when you only have to gain 17 total yards to score 2 touchdowns, that's kind of a handicap there, or a gimme either way. But this game could be a lot different story if you're talking about a game without those 2 turnovers. However, those 2 turnovers lead to 2 touchdowns, and kudos to the Lions and that squad over there for capitalizing on both of those opportunities. But the 2 turnovers are the difference in this game right now, without any doubt.
SNU got on the board a 24-yard touchdown run for Gage Porter. SNU's touchdown came right at the end of the first quarter. For the Lions, a 2-yard Josh Mercer touchdown run and a 2-yard Taylor Thomas touchdown run. Throwing the ball has been an issue for the Lions today. Yeah. SNU defensively through the air has been very good. Just 2 of 8 for Jalen Banks today for 32 yards. And SNU doing a great job in the secondary in particular. Part of that has been some erratic passing from Banks for sure, but not exactly guys running free in the secondary that he's just.
Defensive backs of SNU doing a good job working through the football, making sure not getting there early. We've definitely seen some great defensive back play, and that carries over from last week. They played pretty well last week, especially early on in last week's game as well. So good to see that kind of carrying over. Cameron Wells and those guys doing a good job on the outsides. But to your point, though, Banks has not done a fantastic job putting the ball on the money. He has struggled, especially when he's moving and throwing the football. But Gage Porter doing the same thing. Obviously, a little bit off target when you're mobile, and both of these quarterbacks have struggled with it. Obviously, the wind plays a factor. But I think if this Missouri Southern team wants to hold this lead, extend this lead, they're going to have to figure out a way to get more successful through the air. SNU doing a good job trying to dial things in on the run game. They have, had success. And to be perfectly honest, here's the thing. this Missouri Southern offense has not had a stellar night by any stretch of the imagination. They have more points, but it's off those 2 turnovers. Banks is going to have to do a better job throwing the football, and SNU going to continue trying to stop the run. So we'll just kind of see how those things happen.
This game, kind of a weird situation, not just with the spring, but with the Lions as a whole. This is their first action, really, of any sort under new head coach Atiba Bradley. He was hired back in February, and this game was originally scheduled to be played on March 6th, just a few Saturdays ago. But the game was pushed back a little bit to allow the Lions, just basically some more time to get their feet under them as a coaching staff, as a new kind of regime, as a program. And so, I mean, what are your thoughts on the Lions thus far, just as a team? It's a team that has struggled in the MIAA the past 5 years, have not been very good at all, which of course is why you have a coaching change at this level. But what are your thoughts on the Lions as a program?
Well, I think you're definitely seeing some bright spots. If you're Missouri Southern, you feel pretty good about a few things. Defensively, there have been some really good bright spots at times. Offensively, you've seen some things working in the running game. Obviously, the passing game is not really much to write home about right now, but I think they're going to continue to try to work to dial that in. Seems like things are getting a little bit better all the time, at least especially if you're just talking about several weeks of this coaching staff coming in and getting things under their belt and putting in a culture, putting in a playbook, all of those things. So I think bright days ahead for Missouri Southern. And here's the thing. I mean, at the end of the day, you were winning this ball game. Doesn't matter how you got there. You right now have more points than the other team. They're doing a good job capitalizing on turnovers. They're doing a good job standing up on defense. And so, I think if you're a Lion fan, you can be excited about the days ahead under Coach Tiba and this coaching staff, especially this early into his tenure.
And on the flip side, the Crimson Storm loaded with young guys. Coach Hayda very proud and complimentary of the recruiting class they brought in last year, which they would have been freshmen in the fall. Will still be freshmen this coming fall as well, due to the eligibility not counting and no season in the 2020 fall. But we've seen that a lot, especially defensively for the Crimson Storm. Those guys along the offensive line, Marcus Sowell, Mason Williams, we've seen those guys a lot. Nick Blanchard at linebacker, Josh Lopez, Cale Fouts has been in there. Yeah. Aaron Randle has made some plays as well. Just a lot of young guys across the board for the Crimson Storm, and that's not even to mention the 2 freshman tackles who started the last 2 games as well as today for the Crimson Storm. We've got Jarrell Farr out there. He's a true freshman. Lots and lots of youth on this Crimson Storm roster who are already getting significant playing time and making an impact.
Well, and if you're Coach Hayda, that's exactly the kind of thing you want to be doing. You get an opportunity here in the spring. I mean, basically, you are playing 4 full, complete dress rehearsal games, and not burning anybody's eligibility or anything like that, which is super exciting. And especially for both coaches here that are brand new to their sidelines. And so I think, there's some excitement that should be buzzing around this SNU team. These young guys look really good. They look ready to compete. These 4 games are going to give them some experience going into next fall. And, there are some guys that are going to be some household names around this program really quick, and Coach Hayda's got to be excited about that and what that means for the fall of 2021.
So it'll be the Crimson Storm receiving the second half kickoff. They'll be going with the wind to start the second half, as Missouri Southern will kick off right to left. We haven't seen a kickoff yet into the wind. All the kickoffs have been going with the wind, so this could be an interesting affair. Personally, if I were Missouri Southern, I would just squib this one.
Yeah, well, and that also means what? That all the touchdowns have been scored with the wind as well. So
indeed,
it'll be definitely
bodes well for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Also, by the way, Ryan Reed continuing to just kind of field kicks as guys are warming up and stuff like that. So I doubt we're going to see him in the second half, even though he's completely suited up. So SNU going to continue using backup kicking specialists here in the second half.
So the Lions will kick off as we start the third quarter in Bethany. Thanks for joining us on the SNU Athletics YouTube channel, where you can find all SNU Athletics home games throughout every sport. Reed Roloffs and Cameron Andrus back to receive for SNU. They're standing at their own 7. If the ball gets anywhere close to them and they don't have to move, I would be shocked. But
over under the
things could happen.
Over under the 30.
I'll say he gets past the 30 if he actually kicks it. I'll give him that much. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. The punts haven't been great in this direction.
Our producer, Ben Bumpus, saying, nope, no way.
So we got one for the over, one for the under. I'm going to go under as well. Let's see what happens.
And he goes with a low line drive, and it's fielded at the 27-yard line by number 26, Carlos Zepeda. And the pile is moved all the way across the 40-yard line. Some extra shoving going on between a couple players. And Jeremy, it's a spring game, but there's definitely been emotions both ways, which you want to see in a football game.
And these guys haven't gotten to strap it up here in a while, and
they haven't. These two teams in particular haven't hit somebody, at least before February for SNU with that first game against UT Permian Basement. Hey. It's been since mid-November of 2019 since they hit somebody in a different jersey.
That's exactly right.
Porter checks to the sideline. 2 wide receivers either side. Alvarado and Tisdale near side. Roloffs and Farr on the outside left. And Shellmeyer to the left of Porter. Porter gives to Shellmeyer, running right, trying to turn the corner. And he's going to be taken down there by number 20.
Bordnak's doing a good job coming downhill, scraping across and making a play there. And so just a gain of 2 there on first down. But, hey, a positive gain of 2 working on the outside run there for Shellmeyer. Be interesting to see if they kind of start going back to, that spread run or either go into the diamond formation again, which they found some success with early on in the first half. Second down and 8 upcoming. Here's the snap. Going to be a handoff to Shellmeyer running right. He's going to work through a couple of tackles and be brought down pretty quickly. On a gain of about 1 yard there for Shellmeyer on second down. Bring up third down and 7.
Sorry for any lagging that you're experiencing on the stream. Trying to get those corrected on our network here up in the press box. So
interweb issues.
Technology, can't live with it, can't live without it.
That's exactly right.
Which is almost a literal statement for nowadays. So 3rd and 7 for SNU, heading with the wind to start the third quarter. 2 wide receivers either side. Shellmeyer to the right of Porter in the pistol. He's back to pass, looking left. Now comes back to the right, being harassed. Now he's going to be chased, escapes the pocket, and dashes out of bounds inside Missouri Southern territory to the 46-yard line. And a big gain on third down for Gage Porter will move the sticks for Southern Nazarene.
Good job by Porter to just tuck it and take off. Again, kind of going back to what we were talking about at halftime, quick decision-making is the important key here for Porter, especially when a play breaks down and not hanging on to the football for too long.
Porter with a hard count, checks to the sideline. Looking for the call from head coach Destin Hayda in his first season as the Crimson Storm. I think we'll still refer to it as the first season in the fall as well. So it's a very long, extended first season for Dustin Hayda. But as he mentioned, it has been good to set the culture. Porter pulls it out of the belly of Shellmeyer, trying to get outside. Tripped up by number 5 for the Lions, Richard Jordan, the leading returning tackler for this team. 120 tackles back in 2019. He's a junior. And his dad actually in the Missouri Southern Hall of Fame as far as athletics go as well. So a little bit of Lions legacy on the field for Missouri Southern today.
And his uncle is Michael Jordan.
Not true.
I'm just kidding.
Only facts here on the SNU live stream. So 2nd and 6 from the Missouri Southern 42. He gives to Farr running right. Gets a nice block from Shellmeyer inside the 35-yard line and out of bounds goes Farr.
That one's going to be coming back. Looked like a bad block here on the outside to spring that play. Yeah.
So the block by Shellmeyer that was so good, an illegal block below the waist. So it'll be a 15-yard penalty from the spot.
That's a block.
They'll mark it off from the 40 is what it looks like.
That's a block here a couple of years ago. You would have taught it that way. But as rules have changed, obviously trying to protect guys coming on the outside like that, and guys throwing their body into the lower half of defenders, not something that you like to see. So, good call there. But that is going to back SNU up, unfortunately.
Back to the 46-yard line of the Crimson Storm. So it'll be now 2nd down and 18. 3 wides to the left, Alvarado to the right for the Storm, Shellmeyer to the right of Porter in the pistol. Sanders, the man in motion, coming to the near side. Snap is awry, and Porter has to track it down at the 30. Looking for help, fumbled it,
goodness.
Got it back. Now he's running around, trying to get free. He's got space, trying to hurl it backside for Sanders, and it's just out of his reach, and that was about the wildest incompletion you will ever see.
So bad snap, ends up rolling behind him. Instead of falling on it, he picks it up and then takes off and then
fumbles
and then loses control of it again, picks it back up again, and all of that for let's just reset it and do it again. 3rd down and 18. That was
a loss of at least 30 yards, and it ended up simply being an incompletion.
Reminds me of that Louisiana Tech play here a few years ago where they lost like 80 yards on a play or something like that.
So 3rd and 18. Porter back to pass. Got lots of time. Great blocking up front. Now airs it. Looking sideline for Farr. He goes up high points. Oh, wow. He made the catch! He made the catch on his back. Down at the 23-yard line of the Lions. An unbelievable play by Farr to go up. He high pointed it and then was able to bring it in. Unbelievable throw from Porter and an incredible catch from Jarrell Farr, the true freshman. What a play.
Farr bails Porter out. Porter hangs on to the football a little too long and then lobs one out there to the far side. And Farr does a fantastic job reeling that one in.
Screen out to Sanders, picking his way through blocks. He gets inside the red zone for the Crimson Storm. Down at the 19-yard line, it'll be 2nd and 6.
Just under 10 and a half to go here in the 3rd. SNU trying to answer and get back into this one. Still down by that 7 that they went into the half, trailing by. So going to be kind of interesting to see how they manage. Nice drive going on here.
Sanders in motion. Porter hands off to Shellmeyer. Cutting left, trying to escape a couple tackles. Cannot do so. He's taken down at about the 17. They'll give him 2 or 3 on the carry. So we'll bring up 3rd, and we'll call it 4 from about the 17-yard line. 9:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. SNU looking to tie the score at 14 as the Lions lead 14-7. With the wind here, certainly a decision could be made on 4th down to kick it, but we'll see if SNU just lets it hang out. Back pass from Sanders looking in the end zone. It's intercepted by the Lions, and it's going to be number 21, Jalen Alexander, the Tulsa Memorial product, with the interception. The wide receiver pass from Dalton Sanders looking for Porter. Porter was double covered on the play, and Sanders chunked it into traffic, and it was intercepted.
Yeah, looked like maybe a little push off there on the back end of that play, but nothing more than just pushing and shoving as the ball got into the air and guys are in there tight. But, interesting call there down inside the red zone for SNU for sure.
So it will be Lions football on their own 1 yard line. Give is to Mercer, picking his way on the right side. He'll get one out to the 2 yard line, it looks like.
Yeah, this would be a great place for this SNU defense to find at least a 3 and out, if not maybe some kind of safety or something like that, with the Lions working inside their own shadow of their own goalposts here. And they, SNU has had a ton of success defensively here in this game early on. So this is a really, really great place where they can pin their ears back and go compete.
Injured SNU player down on the field. Be a timeout on the field right now as it's going to be Dylan Bauer, it looks like, coming off the field slowly, favoring that right leg. Bauer, a junior for the Crimson Storm at the linebacker position. So he'll head off to the sideline with 8:55 to go in the third quarter, and the Lions leading 14-7. Luke McConnell, Jeremy Coleman, Ben Bumpus with you from SNU Football Stadium. Delighted for this Thursday matinee football showing in the spring, all of which sound a little weird to say. When combined together, you got matinee, you got Thursday, you got football in the spring.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different. But everything about the past year has been different, so why not make this football season and spring football a little different as well?
Yeah, if somebody told me we were going to be playing a 3 o'clock kickoff on March 18th on a Thursday.
Against a non-conference opponent.
Yeah.
All of which a little strange. So 2nd and 8 from the 3 yard line for the Lions. Banks takes the snap, gives to Mercer, running right along the goal line, trying to pick his way across. He's got to cross the 10, and he's got it across the 30-yard line before he's finally taken down by Josh Johnson. A big gain up across the 30-yard line, and that's some breathing room for the Lions for sure. Calhoun and a Missouri Lions player getting into it after the fact.
Yeah, you got to be super frustrated if you're the SNU defense here. They give up a chunk of yards when they had a chance to kind of really force a change of field on that possession at least.
So 29 yards on that play. Mercer now snowed under in the backfield by the SNU defensive line. That's big number 90 for SNU. Marcus Sowell, the true freshman for SNU. And that's going to be a loss of 5 back to the 27-yard line, excuse me. And the freshmen along that defensive line, Jeremy, have played really well today and have really done a nice job for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, they've done a really fantastic job. And, other than probably that last run play, they've done a good job keeping the run bottled up and, continuing to compete here.
Banks back to pass, quick out to his tight end. That's number 85, Keandre Bledsoe. He gets up to the 35-yard line. That's his first reception of the game.
Yeah, good job by Trenton Smith there coming downhill, putting it into that. And a sure-handed tackle, especially against the bigger tight end.
Bledsoe, the returning receiver, leading receiver on this team, 35 receptions, 437 yards, and 2 touchdowns back in 2019 for the Lions, who, as we mentioned pregame, lost their quarterback and a lot of their skill position guys from that 2019 squad. Banks back to pass, looking over the middle. It's going to be Watts, and will determine the spot. He's got enough for the first down up to the 43-yard line, and a nice pitching catch there from Banks to Watts.
Well, what did we say at the half? If this Southern Missouri team was going to find some success, they were going to have to figure out how to throw the ball a little bit more effectively. And there we go, back-to-back completions for Banks.
Banks back to pass. Now it puts it in the belly of Mercer, up the middle, across the 45-yard line, up to the 47-yard line. And Ty Harvey and Angel Hernandez finishing blocks on each other there.
Yeah.
Gain of 4 on first down. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the 47-yard line of Missouri Southern. Lions leading 14-7, coming up on 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Crimson Storm with a solid opening drive of the half, but a turnover in the red zone. Their third of the game. Banks back to pass, looking right, throws it out down the sideline looking for Watts, and he's got it knocked away by Cam Wells. A nice individual play there by the sophomore Cameron Wells on the outside, who had 3 pass breakups last week against East Central and did a tremendous job back in 2019 stepping in for the injured Dorian Harris.
Well, and Wells just picks right back up where he left off last week. Probably the first time that he's been targeted downfield like that, and makes the most of that opportunity as well. So Cameron Wells just continuing to work well on the outside there at corner.
Watts had a step, but pass a little underthrown. Banks back to pass. Looking down the middle this time. Now and broken up. Elijah Calhoun coming up with a tremendous pass breakup there over the middle. No flag on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Calhoun does a good job getting there and delivering some punishment. Shows up right at the same time as the football does Calhoun, and that's what you like to see. He's dancing off the field, feeling pretty good about that one, and he should. It was a good defensive play.
Did a nice job coming around with that left hand as opposed to just running right through the back. I mean, he was right on his back, but instead of, just hitting the guy, did a nice job trying to reach around and deflect with that outside hand.
Yeah, using that back hand to just put a hand on the hip, just the way you teach it.
Line drive punt. It's a spiral spinning one, dies at the 20 and goes inside the 20 down to the 16-yard line, and that is where Missouri Southern will give the ball back to the Crimson Storm. We've got a flag in the backfield, and if this is on SNU, could make for an interesting decision.
Yeah.
A running into the kicker would make it fourth and one.
Yeah.
In SNU territory.
I didn't see if there was any contact back there. I was watching the punt, kind of interested to see that there was a good punt into the wind right there.
Officially a 36-yard punt into the wind, which not too shabby given the ferocity of the wind today.
Well,
about 20 miles an hour coming from the north.
Flags continue to be fully erect on the far side, and so, it's definitely still pretty stiff. So
we'll get the call from the official. So a personal foul on the dealing with the blockers. So I couldn't quite get the clear explanation from the official. But either way, it's a 15-yard penalty on Southern Nazarene, and Missouri Southern will keep the football.
Man, that's tough if you're SNU. And again, just all sorts of reasons why drives and points are continuing for this Lion offense. They have played so well, but it's just these extra things that continue to cause problems. Special teams issues, namely.
So 1st and 10 for the Lions now at the SNU 38-yard line. The give is to Thomas. He gets down to the 35, pick up a 3. Taken down by Sowell on the play. James Love also in the backfield there. Dylan Bauer back into the game for SNU. Good to see him back out there after hobbling off earlier in the possession. So 2nd and 7 for the Lions. 5 minutes to go, third quarter. Lions have had the football for a good chunk of the third quarter. SNU's drive early in the period took up a decent amount of time as well. But just the second offensive possession of the quarter either way. Banks rolling right, being pressured, throws back across the middle, and it's going to be incomplete.
That's a tough pass to make, especially in the wind and, on the run, rolling outside. That's a big ask of your quarterback right there, and not a bad pass, but still, just off the mark, and pretty tough situation to make that throw right there.
Looked like he was looking for Jordan Smith there. Aaron Randle looked like he had the coverage. One of those levels concepts on the outside. Looked like he had some options on the short side, but
he
opted to go a little bit deeper down the field. So 2 wide receivers either side, 3rd and 7. Excuse me, the left side's got a tight end as well. Banks gives to Mercer. Sprinting right, trying to race the SNU defense to the corner. He's got the corner, and he's got the first down.
Mercer's just going to continue to be tougher to bring down as this game goes on. He's showing to kind of be like the Energizer Bunny. He does get the outside. He's had, early on having a tough time getting the outside edge against this quick SNU defense, but finds the edge that time. And so going to be interesting to see what they do here. Timeout on the field.
That was a 12-yard pickup, and Trent Smith is down for the Crimson Storm, looking like he's holding that right hip is what it looked like he was favoring there. So errors, like we mentioned earlier, Jeremy, errors have been really everything for Missouri Southern as far as what they've been able to get both offensively and on the scoreboard. The 15-yard penalty extending the drive here, both touchdowns or less than 15-yard drives. But overall, SNU, you take away 3 plays essentially, and SNU has really done extremely well in this football game.
The defense has been asked to do a lot. The first touchdown, a fumble by the offense, second touchdown, a muffed punt by the special teams, and then the penalty after they had gotten out of a drive. That penalty on the special teams as well. So, this defense continuing to have to answer the bell for the mistakes of the special teams and the offensive units for this team. So, if those 2 units can kind of help this defense out, we could be talking about a lot different game.
Indeed. Smith slowly, gingerly walking off, still holding at his right hip a little bit. Smith, one of the veterans on this SNU defense, certainly the senior voice in the secondary, as SNU no more Josh Jordan back there at safety for SNU. Trent Smith taking over that role as the vocal leader for SNU back deep. So Randle and Calhoun now at safety for the Crimson Storm as Smith off to the sideline. 1st and 10 after the 12-yard pickup for Mercer. 4:15 and counting in the third quarter for Missouri Southern. This is just the second offensive possession for either team in the quarter. SNU had a long drive, came up with an interception at the goal line, and this the first drive of the quarter for Missouri Southern, who's taking their sweet time down the field. Banks back to pass, blitz up the middle, tries to throw it off to the side. It's incomplete. And that was big number 95, Milik Ritchie, coming up the middle, unabated to the quarterback.
If you're Banks, you're just trying to scramble for your life and get rid of that football, and SNU defense continuing to play stout.
It is. It's a big difference when your front 3 in this case are able to eat up some space and make some pockets collapse, which has not always been the case in the past few years for the Crimson Storm. So 2nd and 10. Banks gets the snap. Mercer fumbled the football, but he's got it now, trying to outrace the defense to the corner. Hernandez forces him out of bounds after just a small loss of about 3.
Good heads-up play there by Mercer to pick that football up and really just kind of turn something out of what could have been a turnover. Turnovers are quickly becoming a huge part of this game, as they are any game, Luke. But 3 for SNU, and I don't believe any so
None
far.
for Missouri Southern thus far. SNU could use one here. Definitely 4-down territory for the Lions. 3rd and 13 from the SNU 25-yard line, heading into the wind.
Looking to pick up about half of it here, and then
Banks rolling right. He has a block on the outside, turns the corner, and belts it out of bounds by Dylan Bauer at the 20-yard line. So a 5-yard gain. for Banks will bring up fourth down and 7 as we're under 3 minutes to go, third quarter. So fourth down into the wind, easy call here.
Yeah.
For Coach Bradley and the Lions. You go for this. I will say, I mean, we're in the press box, so I'm not somebody who's been buffeted by the wind for the past 2.5 hours, but it might have been dying down a little bit. But 4th and 7. Banks, back to pass. Looking over the middle, looking for Watts. Wells is there with a pass breakup. It looked like their feet got a little tangled up.
Wells
and
again.
Watts stumbled a little bit.
Cameron Wells, another broken up pass. He is just not to be messed with out there on that edge. He's a guy who is just locking down receivers.
Not a huge guy either, but he has been impressive anytime he has been on the field for the Crimson Storm in his young career. Again, both a season ago and so far in the spring season. And Watts came up looking for the penalty. It looked like just a simple, a little bit of a foot collision there, if you will.
Foot collision.
Foot collision.
Yeah.
Feet got tangled up.
Yeah.
I was going to say got tangled up, but you don't say their foot got tangled up. So their feet got tangled up right before the pass got there.
Some
so
foot fives, and then,
Pretty bang play.
Yeah, absolutely. But either way, SNU's defense figures out how to end a drive for themselves right there.
1st and 10 for the Crimson Storm. Porter bobbled the snap. Now he's rolling to his right, looking for help. He's going to chuck it deep, looking for Roloffs, and Roloffs comes down with it at the 33-yard line.
Roloffs does
unbelievable again. What in the world?
Roloffs does a fantastic job adjusting, stopping, and then high-pointing the football. A really great play there by Reed Roloffs, and a huge play there for SNU down to the 31-yard line in Lion territory. Reed Roloffs making it happen.
It is nice to be 6'5".
Yeah.
I got to tell you.
Is it
1st and 10 for the Crimson Storm at the 31, coming up on a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Porter turns, gives to Ramirez. Ramirez running right and unable to escape from Jamie Tago in the backfield. A loss of 1 back to the 32-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 12. Excuse me, they mark it at the 33, so 2nd and 12 for the Crimson Storm.
Huge play there by Roloffs. We'll see if they maybe try to take advantage of that again as they get closer to the end zone. Nearing the end of the third quarter, but a chance to tie it up here.
Farr and Ramirez either side of Porter, 2 wide receivers to the right, Roloffs to the left. Farr now split out to the left as well. Porter looking. Now he spins away. Now rolling right. He's got Ramirez as a blocker in front. Scampers down the sideline and out of bounds. With 42 seconds to go in the quarter, official winds the clock. It'll be a pickup of about 5 down to the 29-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Crimson Storm. So SNU hasn't been able to punch it in the end zone with the wind at their back. And they'll have the fourth quarter with the wind in their face.
Yeah.
20 seconds to go in the period as Porter gets his squad to the line of scrimmage. 2 wide receivers left. Ramirez and Farr on either side of him in the backfield.
3rd down and 8. It's 4-down territory right here for the Crimson Storm.
And we've got a false start
worse
on the Crimson Storm. Well, that'll back them up 5 yards with 4 seconds left. It's going to be on the freshman Andy Cardenas. That's his second false start of the game, and that'll take us to the end of the third quarter as the clock is wound and it runs out. So at the end of 3, no score in the third quarter. The Lions still lead this one 14-7 as the Crimson Storm looking to convert on 3rd down and start the fourth quarter in style. We'll take a break, and when we come back, the start of the final stanza here in Bethany. This is SNU Football. Welcome back to Bethany. Fourth quarter time between the Crimson Storm and the Lions. Luke McConnell, Jeremy Coleman with you on the SNU Video Network as we start the fourth quarter with Missouri Southern leading SNU 14-7. A pretty even game both ways thus far. But the Crimson Storm on the short end right now on the scoreboard, and a critical 3rd and 13 from the Missouri Southern 34-yard line. 4 down territory for SNU for sure. Porter back to pass. It's a quarterback draw all the way. Following his blockers, tried to cut it up the middle, but is taken down at the 30-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down and about 10.
Yeah, not as much as you'd want to rip off there on that 3rd down play. You're really trying to make it 4th and medium at least, but now just barely inside the sticks. 4th and probably 9.5 for Porter and this offense, but it's definitely 4 down territory. There's no doubt about it, with the wind being as bad as it is today, and Ryan Reed not kicking at all. So
officially 4th and 9. They got to get to the 21-yard line. 2 left, 1 right. Ramirez is the back. Porter fakes the give to Ramirez. Back to pass. Looking. Now he's going to scramble to his left. Looking, gets down the field, cuts it up. Got the first down inside the 15, inside the 10, finally dragged down inside the 5-yard line. Gage Porter continuing to make things happen down the field.
Doing a good job getting outside the pocket, taking off, using his legs to make the play happen. Nothing downfield for him, or not that he saw. And, does a great job, and that's what makes him dangerous.
So 1st and goal for SNU at the Missouri Southern 4-yard line. Porter quickly swings it out. Dalton Sanders is going to take it down. Lost the football.
Ball's on the turf again, Luke.
No ruling yet on who's got the football. Missouri Southern thought they came up with it.
It's just going to matter who's on the bottom of that pile.
And it is going to be SNU, I believe, at the bottom of the pile with it.
Still fighting.
Reed Roloffs came up with it.
Reed Roloffs, a huge recovery there. I mean, he saved another catastrophic mistake by this SNU offense. That could have been turnover number 4.
So 13 minutes to play. Porter trying to just push the pile forward, and he follows his offensive line into the end zone for the touchdown. Give the assist to Reed Roloffs for sure for recovering that fumble from Sanders.
Yeah, then some good shove in the back there to make that one happen there. I tell you what, absolutely Reed Roloffs with a huge assist by the fumble recovery. I don't know how many times you can get even in a game or even win a game, much less win it when you're down in the turnover category by -4.
Indeed. Gillespie on for the extra point, sends it up and through. So with 12:52 to play in Bethany, we are tied up at 14. And Jeremy, another example on that drive of Gage Porter's creative ability and his ability to just extend plays, to make crazy plays, just all of the above, really, for Gage Porter. Just the throw to Roloffs down the field, then the scramble on 4th down. Just an incredible piece of playmaking on his part.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just making things happen on his feet, extending plays, using his legs to make things work out. And it does end up leading to a touchdown. But, again, a huge play there by Roloffs to make sure and hop on top of that fumble to keep the possession down inside the 5 again. That's their second fumble inside the 5-yard line today.
I think one of the SNU ball boys was just sent off the field. Not sure what happened there or what went down, but I believe one of the either players or just the football personnel that was helping out with getting the balls to the officials was just sent off by the referee. So not sure what happened there. Weird deal. But either way, We're tied at 14, 12:52 to play in Bethany. This first matchup between Missouri Southern and the Crimson Storm. And again, just a unique opportunity with the spring season to play some teams that you're never going to be able to play in the regular season. And this, an MIAA team in Missouri Southern, and the Crimson Storm in a dead-even game with the Lions. And, Jeremy, it really has been completely even throughout the game.
Yeah, been entirely even. And, man, we have seen a little bit of everything in this game. But, the one thing that is lopsided is the turnover margin. Something to really think about as we head deeper into this fourth quarter.
Gillespie squibs it, and it's going to be covered up at the 36-yard line. Had that teed up sideways, so it was a squib all the way, and Missouri Southern played it up a little bit.
Bledsoe does a good job. Just get on top of the football, maintain the possession, and give your offense and Banks a chance to go out and score. SNU is losing that turnover battle 3-0 like we were talking about earlier, and that Reed roll-offs recovery obviously saves a touchdown, but another turnover. So, hey, under 13 to go, tie ball game.
That's what you want.
Couldn't ask for any more than that.
3 wide left, 1 to the right for Banks. Banks turns and gives to Thomas. Nope, he kept it himself around the right side. He's going to be tracked down by Richie, the freshman. Gain of just 1 up to the 37-yard line. Had me fooled on the give,
but not Richie.
Not Richie. And that was a quick move for the big freshman who was able to get outside in a hurry. He is not small of stature.
No,
out there.
Not at all. And nimble as a cat to get on the outside and make sure and shut that one down. Not fooled at one bit. Stayed home. Good job by Richie.
2nd and 9 for the Lions. Banks checks to the sideline. Gets the snap. Back to pass, looking left the whole way for Watts on the comebacker, and it's going to be incomplete. Watts thought he got his hand under it, but the line judge on the near side said, nope, did not get your hands under it. It looked like it just scooped in there.
Back shoulder throw to Jonathan Watts. Put it in the right spot, just a little bit low. So as far as where you want that football to end up, was pretty good, just a little bit low, and the official thought that it skipped into Watts, and it was pretty bang, but anyway, 3rd down and 9 upcoming.
Big play for the Crimson Storm, 12:08 to go in the football game. 2 wide receivers left, 1 to the right. Banks the snap, back to pass, looking down the seam and looking outside for number 13, Jordan Smith, that falls incomplete. And the Crimson Storm hold once again as Jalen Banks continues to struggle in the passing game this afternoon. Now just 3 of 15 through the air.
Yeah, a brutal afternoon for Banks. And a huge set of downs there for this defense who continues to rise up and force turnovers. Now they just need the special teams and the offense to continue answering the bell as well. Maybe a go-ahead and touchdown is in store on this drive right here.
Roloffs is back to punt, or to receive the punt from Missouri Southern. It's a high spiraling kick just floating in the wind. Chases Roloffs back to the 15 where he has the fair catch. And that is where the Crimson Storm will go into business on offense with 11:55 to play. And Jeremy, if you're SNU, you in a great situation here where you can kind of just run your offense per usual, nothing too fast, don't have to try to necessarily burn a ton of time. You're in that kind of weird no man's land of a run-based offense where if you burned all the clock, it would take some serious, ground and pound, but you definitely don't have to go fast either with plenty of time left on the clock here.
Yeah, no, don't need to be in any kind of hurry. Open up the full offensive playbook, be patient, just take what you're given. And, no reason to rush anything, no reason to go hurry up, no need to force, errors that are unnecessary here. I think it does Porter a little bit better when he has time to kind of evaluate things, think through things, versus trying to hustle through and speed up tempo.
Although Porter, on the creative side, is pretty good at that too. He's definitely made some incredible plays today. The 49-yard pass to Reed Roloffs, the highlight thus far. Roloffs, with 2 big receptions today, and then you also had the 31-yard pass to Jarrell Farr earlier in the third quarter in the second half. So Porter's out there on offense. 2 wide receivers either side. Shellmeyer to the left of Porter. Farr the man in motion. Porter following blockers to the right side, and he's going to pick up 5 yards up to the 20-yard line.
11.5 minutes to go, and nice pickup there on first down. Going to be kind of interesting to see how they continue to run it, spreading things out. Single back set. Might get Shellmeyer involved here.
Farr back in motion to the top of the formation. Porter pulls it out of Shellmeyer, dodges the defensive tackler, still spinning around in the backfield, gets a block from Farr, and gets out of bounds after a gain of, they're going to give him 3 yards up to the 27-yard line. But again, Gage Porter just making things happen all over the field just for a gain of 3, but he needed to make every single move for that to be a positive play.
It was just such a crazy thing. I mean, he just basically took that defender and said, "Shall we dance?" and took off, coming out on the far side. It was pretty wild to watch, but again, pretty electric on his feet.
Oh, and that's the crazy thing is he had to do that. He had to do every single thing that he did there in order to escape. Shellmeyer goes out to the left. Porter again right up the middle. He's going to be stopped short of the 25-yard line. It'll be 4th and 1 with 10.5 minutes to play. You're kicking into the wind in this situation. What is your call here, Coach Coleman?
I think I'm going for it right here, and I'm using the big body of Porter, and I'm putting a guy behind him and shoving ahead. That's
Missouri
what I'm
Southern
doing.
Certainly thinks so. The snap low to Shellmeyer, but a flag.
They are saved by a flag.
But it's going to be a false start on SNU regardless.
Well, now the decision's pretty easy.
With 4th and 6 now, back at the 14-yard line with 10:16 to play. Coach Hayda.
I couldn't tell if I thought that was intentional, that Porter walked out from under the center and they snapped to Shellmeyer, or that it was on accident and the center just misheard what was going on back behind him. Either way, they save a catastrophe here by the false start. So thank goodness for a false start. Not often you say that.
So the offense stays out there with 3 on the play clock. Porter rolling to the left.
My goodness.
Looking for Roloffs on the comeback, and he's got him! And a flag in the backfield after the play. I believe they're going to get a roughing the passer penalty on Missouri Southern.
Guys, that is the most bizarre sequence I think I've ever seen in a football game in my life. Yeah.
So a personal foul roughing the passer on Missouri Southern after a great comeback route from Porter to Roloffs with 9:44 to play.
I would have never thought they were actually going 4th and 6. I thought maybe pooch punt, something like that. No, they go ahead and do it. Not only that, they do a little rollout comeback pass.
And get the penalty to boot. So 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Porter got the nose tackle there to jump, but didn't take advantage.
That's when you got to teach one of those young offensive linemen to just reach out and touch him on the head.
7 on the play clock. Porter gets the snap. Pulls it out of Shellmeyer's back. Runs around the block from Roloffs and jumps across the 47-yard line up to the 48-yard line. Number 20, Malachi Broadnax on the tackle. So 2nd and 8 for SNU. Coming up on 9 minutes to play. Crimson Storm and the Lions of Missouri Southern tied at 14. Crimson Storm looking to get into range. If it's going to be a field goal, it's got to be about 20 yards. The field goal, not the line of scrimmage. Or just go ahead and punch it in the end zone to go ahead. Diamond formation, wide receiver either side. Porter drifts out. Now he's going to be harassed and sacked back at the 35-yard line. Big number 36 there, Jaquan Allen with the sack. and a huge loss on second down for the Crimson Storm.
Well, that was the first time they went back to that diamond formation here in the second half that I can at least recall, and it just broke down on them. Sending some extra bodies did Missouri Southern, and just nowhere to go there. I mean, if he had happened to spin out of that tackle, did Porter, there was plenty of other white shirts back there close to him.
So now 3rd and 21 for the Crimson Storm. Porter back to pass. It'll be a quarterback draw, and he's going to be hemmed in again and taken down in the backfield. Number 91, Kalipo Fesu on the sack for Missouri Southern. And with under 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, SNU will have to punt.
That's where Porter has to realize you just got to kind of take what you're given right there. He retreats, gives up ground, ends up losing yardage. It's probably ill-advised here. He probably just needed to tuck it and take the 3 or 4 yards and punt it from there.
So Reed Roloffs will be kicking into a brutal north wind.
Yeah, you got to keep this one low. I mean, obviously you don't want to get it blocked, but you got to keep it low.
It'll be Stoshak
and
back
he does.
in. Nice low one. It crawls across midfield, and it's going to be down by Trent Smith at the 47-yard line with 7 minutes to play for the Crimson Storm. That's where Missouri Southern will put the ball in play, 1st and 10. So we'll keep it here as the teams reset and get ready for this possession. But ultimately, the penalty and the big 4th down conversion, not SNU unable to take advantage of it. As Missouri Southern with the football, 7 minutes to play, wind at their back. Extra offensive lineman there at that H-back position for the Lions. Banks gives it to Mercer. Pounds it across midfield. Gain of 4 to the 49-yard line of SNU. And I think, Jeremy, we're about to see a lot of handoffs up the middle.
I think we're about to see the Josh Mercer show right here. They're gonna eat as much clock as they possibly can. Mercer has been the most successful thing about this offense all afternoon, and so yeah, this is getting ready to turn into the Josh Mercer show here the last 6 minutes.
2nd and 6, Mercer cuts it back to the left, found an alley, pounded down at the 45-yard line by Eli Calhoun. It'll be 3rd and 2. Trent Smith and Caden Colson getting into it in the backfield. No flags thrown either way. But
unstoppable force and movable object there. Calhoun and Mercer kind of find each other on the second level, and good job Calhoun hanging on, bringing him down. 3rd down upcoming, but it's 4-down territory, so going to need 2 stops.
Banks gives to Mercer. Gets across the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be close, but they're going to give him the 1st down with 5:52 to play.
3 plays right there, 2 of them straight up the gut, just straight power, just powering straight down. And then that middle play, the one that ripped off the biggest chunk, is the counter play. Again, tons of success on that counter play with Mercer. And so we'll see how many times they go to that here in the next 5.5 minutes.
1st and 10, Lions at the SNU 43-yard line. Let's see if this young Crimson Storm defense can rise up and make a stop. Mercer to the left of Banks, 2 wide receivers to the right. Looked like a wide receiver flinched, no flag. Ritchie getting to the outside. He's held, and a big tackle for a loss by Hernandez and Smith. But Malik Ritchie getting outside of the tackle there. And he was held, so that'll move the Lions back 10 yards. Great job by the freshman.
Ritchie hopped up immediately asking for flag. And, it's a really smart play there by Marcus Soul to make sure that he comes in and just stops Ritchie from talking to the officials. He's like, man, you got your flag. I know you didn't see it kind of break down, but you got your flag. They're backing him up. But, yeah, they were draped all over Ritchie coming across the near side.
So 5:09 and counting. Ball back at the Missouri Southern 47-yard line, where it will be 1st and 20. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the Lions. Banks gives to Thomas. Thomas met. And again, that's Eli Calhoun, who has been laying the wood all afternoon. So a little slow to get up for the Crimson Storm. He'll come off, replaced by number 98, Michael Daniel. But Jeremy, Eli Calhoun has been laying some wood this afternoon
Just
from that safety position.
Unafraid of contact, coming downhill fast, and delivering punishment to anybody who's willing to take it. Second down and 18, they're way behind schedule here if you're wanting to run the football.
Thomas is the back. Banks back to pass. Looking down the middle. He's got Stoshak, and Harris tried to undercut it, and Stoshak races into the end zone for the 51-yard touchdown.
I tell you what, just barely mistiming it there is Harris, unable to get to it. And, man, he's going to wish he had that one back. Probably the best throw of the day for Banks by a long shot. And it couldn't come at a better time. 4 minutes left to go in this one, and they take the touchdown lead.
Missouri Southern on for the extra point. As Banks hits Stoshak on the post route, extra point is up and true. So with 4 minutes to go, SNU now trails by 7, 21-14.
So they found themselves in this position last week, went 3 and out, had to kick it away, and then ended up forcing another possession after burning timeout, stuff like that. You'd really like to see SNU do a good job, put together a 4-minute drive right here, end it in a touchdown, and then maybe some extra football at the end of all of it. But that's really what you'd like to see. I tell you what, though, second down and 18, a nice ball by Banks. Again, the best one of the afternoon by a long shot from him, and couldn't come at a better time. But, man, probably really, to be honest, the first breakdown in coverage for that secondary group there for SNU.
Yeah, and even still, Harris
just about got there.
Right there, just maybe a half step behind as far as coverage is concerned, and made the choice to kind of try to go over the top and get the break up and just out of his reach. But regardless, it's a touchdown deficit for the Crimson Storm. And they'll be getting the ball back. Josh Johnson now back there with Cameron Andrews. End over end kick will sail through the end zone for the Lions. And SNU will start at their own 25-yard line with 4:02 to play. Plenty of time for this SNU offense, regardless of what you want to do with it right now, Jeremy. And, one thing that this competitive game has given is, changing game plan. Coach Hayden had mentioned that backup quarterback Jarvis Davis would play today. Obviously, with a close football game, we have not seen Jarvis Davis today. And Gage Porter's been out there making plays left and right with his arm and with his feet. And the Crimson Storm with an opportunity here to drive back down the field and tie this score at 21.
Davis one possession last week early on in the second half. Didn't see that one, and I obviously probably not going to see him yet again today.
Porter gives to Shellmeyer up the middle. That's Ramirez. He'll get 2 up to the 27-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8.
The straight-ahead run, especially out of this spread, not working for SNU. This front from Missouri Southern really ready for that, and so they're going to have to find other things if they want to find success here as the game gets later and later.
Diamond formation for the Crimson Storm, 3:30 to play. Porter gets the snap, pulls it out of the gut of Sanders, and then is snowed under in the backfield. A loss of 7 back to the 22-yard line. Down to 3:15 to play, and one of those where Porter might have gotten a little greedy.
Yeah, I think he did. I think that was a really bad read, but I think everything back there was just about dead, unfortunately. And this is where you're seeing some of that youth from those front guys here on this offensive line. It's maybe running out of steam a little bit, or are starting to see some looks that they hadn't seen earlier. But either way, going to kind of see how it shakes out last 2:45.
3rd and 14 for the Crimson Storm. Hitting Alvarado on the slant, and he's got it across to the 40-yard line, the 39-yard line, in fact, for the first down. What a strike from Gage Porter, and a great route there from Jaren Alvarado.
Porter with a absolute dime over the middle. That was a rocket coming straight over the middle, and puts it right on the money and gives Alvarado plenty of room to run after the catch. I mean, that's the way you draw it up right there.
SNU not in too much of a hurry. 2:15 to play. They've got all 3 timeouts, but still only at their own 39-yard line. And it looks like SNU's trying to make this the last possession of the game regardless. Porter pitches it out to Ramirez. Excellent play there. Ramirez cuts it up the middle, across the 50-yard line, bang down at the 47-yard line by a couple Missouri Southern defenders with 1:57 to play. Clock moves.
Porter wanting to hurry up. You see him turning around to the sidelines, trying to get the call in quicker. They're trying to keep Gage Porter slowed down. Just like we talked about earlier, they like it when he moves a little bit more methodically than in the hurry up. And so kind of interesting to see that play out right there.
1st and 10 at the Missouri Southern 47-yard line. Sanders in motion to the top of the formation. Porter gets it out to him. Nearly intercepted. It's incomplete.
And
with 1:27 to play. Missouri Southern thought it was a fumble. It was just a forward pass, and I mean barely a forward pass. Falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 with 1:27 to play. Woo!
Yeah, that
Jalen Alexander, the Tulsa Memorial product, nearly had himself a house call.
Well, and he was looking to get there the same time the ball was, looking to lay the hit stick out there on the far side. If he had been looking for the football, that could have been green grass, white stripes, and glory.
Both sidelines starting to make some noise as the Missouri Southern fans and sideline hopping around, having a good time. Porter fakes and backside screen to Alvarado, and he runs into a couple of defenders out of bounds inside the 30. Jaren
Alvarado against the grain, a little RPO right there for Porter. He goes outside, fakes the pitch, and then comes back. The only person scraping back across the play is going to be the tight end Alvarado. He finds himself wide open. Porter doesn't even have to put a great pass out there, just something in the vicinity. Alvarado picks it up, takes off. First down inside the 30-yard line. Huge play there for Porter in this offense.
Love a good tight end leak play there,
yes,
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. So 2 wide receivers either side. SNU in business at the 30-yard line. All 3 timeouts and 1:19 to play. Porter looking left. It's a screen pass to Sanders in the middle. He's got blockers. He crosses down to the 20-yard line. It'll be 2nd down, but a flag from the line judge, and we'll see what the call is. And it's going to be an illegal formation on the Crimson Storm. Jeremy, what'd you see there?
Not enough guys checking in on the line right there. They catch a receiver on the near side who was just a little bit too far back off the line.
So that'll back him up 5 yards. Clock is running, 1:10 to play. Porter getting everybody set correctly this time. 1st and 15. Porter back to pass. Looking for roll-offs down the far side. It's going to be short, and a flag is coming in. It's going to be thrown on number 29, Jordan Henderson. Pass was underthrown into the wind, and Henderson, unfortunately, just in the wrong spot for an underthrown pass.
Yeah, they were. I mean, he just, as roll-offs turns to come back to the football, it just turned into nothing but contact right there. And so easy call for the official to make, and a good call there for SNU as it takes them down inside the red zone. 53 seconds. Hey, this is exactly where you want to be if you're SNU, down by a score, but you're driving. Opportunity to tie this ball game up.
Still all 3 timeouts for SNU. Plenty of time to work with.
Yeah, no need to be in a hurry here.
Yeah, absolutely not. 3 wide receivers in a cluster to the right. Sanders now splits out to the right. Porter outside to roll-offs, and he dropped it.
It was a good pass by Porter, and unfortunately Roll-off's unable to corral that one in.
Looking like it was kind of a little quick swirl route and was going to come back into the middle of the field on the run. But it was 2nd and 10 from the 19-yard line. And ultimately, with the wind how it is, at worst case, you have put yourself in a position where it's very easy to get the ball in the end zone in a desperation situation, should it come to that.
Yeah, especially with the arm of Porter.
Porter looking left. Quick out route to Sanders. He's got it, and he's out of bounds.
A lot of receivers there piled on top of each other on that route. I'm kind of interested to know if somebody ran the wrong one. But nevertheless, success there on 2nd down.
So 45 seconds to play. 3rd down and 7 from the 16-yard line. SNU needs to get to the 9 for a 1st down. Still have all 3 timeouts. Porter back to pass. Now it's a quarterback draw right at the middle. Follows his blockers, cuts inside at the 5, and he's taken down at the 3. That quarterback draw has been outstanding today. Dustin Hayda loses his hat getting the timeout call with 39 seconds to play. SNU will use their first timeout. It is 1st and goal for the Crimson Storm. Down by 7. And Jeremy, you've got everything. You've got everything at your disposal at this point from the 4-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, the playbook is wide open. You have 2 timeouts, 38 seconds. Styles coming in here saying that he wants us to go for 2 if we score. I don't know. We'll talk about that when the touchdown happens. Yeah.
Got to get the 6 first.
Got to get the 6 before you can make a decision between 1 and 2.
But you have already probably made the decision as a coaching staff, right?
I mean, yeah, you absolutely. There's a lot of times that I would go into a game like this having already made that decision based on environment. Now, sometimes things change in the course of a game, but I'm pretty sure Coach Hayda already has his mind made up if it comes to that. And as aggressive as they have been early, I bet they'll go for 2.
Porter under center. Nobody lined up under center. Fakes the pitch out to far.
He's
got Alvarado wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Crimson Storm! With 34 seconds to play. SNU an extra point away from time. But the decision time for the Crimson Storm. Let's see what it is, and Dustin Hayda is going to take a timeout, and they'll talk about it on the sideline. What a play for SNU. The fake pitch out to far going right, and he turned back to the left, and Jaren Alvarado is standing on the R of Crimson Storm with no one else around him but the other letters.
He could have completed that pass about 4 times, I think. That was Alvarado out there all alone. I mean, just all sorts of alone out there. And so, yeah, decision time, obviously taking the timeout, kind of feel his guys out. Usually if you see a timeout real quick like that, they are going to go for 2. They're getting the game plan in and making sure everybody understands their job right here. And so, again, like I said earlier, they have been pretty aggressive all afternoon on 4th down. And so going to be interested to see what happens coming out of this timeout.
You got 2 different huddles going on the SNU sideline right now. You've got the SNU offense on one end, and you've got the SNU defense on the other with defensive coordinator Adam Langvart. So the offense going to stay out there.
Yeah.
They're going for 2 and a 1-point lead. Interestingly enough, this is the situation SNU found themselves in the 2019 season against Southeastern with a incredible comeback to get a late touchdown, and then they went for 2 in the win.
Try to go hard count here, maybe cut this thing in half.
Porter fakes the sweep to Sanders. Porter is in trouble, looking for help. Trying, scrambling, still scrambling. Now he's got space and a little more time. Running up the middle, trying to get there, throws it toward the end zone as he falls down, and it's incomplete. An unbelievable sequence there from Gage Porter, doing everything he possibly could to extend the play, including just hurling something toward Reed Roloffs in the end zone as he was going down.
It's going to be onside kick time here because you're down by 1. an unbelievable play. Porter, everybody was covered up downfield, nowhere to go with that one, so he just had to make and create on his feet. Just about bailed himself and this Crimson Storm football team out of that one. Now, listen, if you are thinking, hey, should I go check out the Crimson Storm in the fall? Gage Porter worth the price of admission, kids.
No doubt about it.
Because you just never know what's going to happen play to play.
Don't tell him this is just a spring game.
No, not at all. Not at all.
This could be the Super Bowl from the way he has put it all out there,
Well,
the way he has tried to extend plays and
that
just
pass,
done everything possible.
The Superman pass downfield, it reminds you of of one Patty Mahomes.
Indeed. So it'll be onside kick time for the Crimson Storm. And, hey, you've gotten to put everything else out there. May as well try to, now you get some real live game situation onside kick as well. Hey, you're getting everything.
No, listen, this game has not been short of anything. I'm just glad we didn't have a weather delay, so we're going to get this one under. I'm glad that we're getting this one done on regular time. But, 33 seconds left in this ball game, only one timeout. So it's either get this onside kick or lose the ball game is the bottom line.
So Gillespie will be out there. He's got it teed up, facing toward the SNU sideline.
And it looks like we're going to have a timeout.
So I think it'll be – didn't get an indication either way. Not sure who's the one who burned the timeout. I think it was Missouri Southern, perhaps, who burned the timeout. They've got 2 remaining.
Yeah, that's what just happened. We have seen it all today, Luke.
That we have.
It is full steam ahead.
Hope you got your bracket done already, though. It is the first day of the NCAA tournament. First 4 games happening right now. Hope you didn't put too much stock in Mount St. Mary's or Texas Southern in the first 16 there playing game. Brutal. All right, so Baylor Gillespie out there to try the onside kick. Hands team out there, both sides. 4 to the right side. You got 6 to the left. Gillespie not trying to hide where this one's going.
No, not at all. Unless we see the little soccer-like back kick. You just need a good bounce.
There it is. There's the bounce, but it's taken in by Tago just at midfield.
The hop didn't go up as high as you would want it there.
Not a little bit more to the middle of the field as well.
Yeah. That's absolutely right.
So Missouri Southern going to hold on against the Crimson Storm. SNU ultimately comes up a little short. There is actually a flag on the far side of the field. We'll see what that one's all about.
What did it say? 12 men on the kicking team?
No, I think I'm not sure if it was the correct formation. Don't you have to have 5, maybe 5 per side, or?
That's in the NFL. I don't know if they've moved that
I'm not sure. It was a 5-yard violation either way. Potentially maybe a false start. But Missouri Southern just going to take one knee, and that's going to do it here in Bethany. So Missouri Southern comes in from the MIAA and is going to leave with a win under first-year head coach Atiba Bradley. And a pretty exciting game both ways, and a very even game across the board for this Crimson Storm bunch and the Lions. But SNU ultimately coming up just a little bit short as the Lions win this one today, 21-20, the final score from SNU Football Stadium. And Jeremy, as we wrap things up on the broadcast, SNU showed some good things today, some exciting potential offensively. I think we saw a lot out of Jaren Alvarado in particular from that tight end position. He is going to be a weapon that the Crimson Storm can utilize in the fall. Of course, we know all about Gage Porter, Reed Roloffs, and the other personnel for the Crimson Storm offensively. And then the defense, a lot of young guys that played well today, have played well in this spring season. So a lot to be excited for under first-year head coach Dustin Hayda. Yeah,
absolutely. A ton to be excited about, and definitely some good things to take away from this ball game. The way the defense played is definitely going to be one that sticks out. They played lights out for the most part. Obviously, just really one drive and one pass from this Missouri Southern offense. Other than that, the points were given up on turnovers deep inside their own territory. Tough to just keep answering the bell when you're given those kind of situations. But definitely some bright spots, some things that you can come and look forward to for the fall of 2021.
So for SNU, let's go through this real quick. Just again, the turnovers, the biggest issue today for the Crimson Storm. He had 3 turnovers, one on offense right at the goal line, the other 2 at the muffed punt, and then also the fumble deep in your own territory.
Yep.
All either you threw away kind of an opportunity to score on the interception, and then you gave the opponent a short field. And when you lose by 1, that level of turnover is absolutely killer.
Well, I mean, it's tough to win any game when you lose the turnover battle, go -3 in the turnover battle. And so, but yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to look back and the turnovers in this game are going to be the things that stick out because they gave up 14 points. Beyond any shadow of a doubt, you gave up 14 points because of 2 fumbles down inside the red zone. You fumbled the ball down inside your own your opponent's red zone. So I mean, those are 3 huge turnovers. They're not just turnovers; they're big turnovers that kept you from scoring once and allowed them to score twice. And so obviously that's something that the offense and the special teams going to have to go back and look at. Having some issues there with the turnover game. There were times, as electric as Porter is to watch and as fun as he is to watch, there are times he hangs onto the football a little too long. And sometimes that electricity, sometimes that stuff that's happening on the fly, those are things that he is creating himself because he's hanging onto the ball for too long. And so, for example, I know on the touchdown pass there toward the end, he really probably should have thrown that touchdown pass way earlier than that. And there was a 4th down conversion earlier on in the ball game that he should have thrown the ball way before that. So there's going to be things that they're going to have to sharpen up. Obviously, hey, it's a 4-game spring schedule. You get to live those things out right now, play them in real time, learn from them in real time, and hopefully sharpen up and get ready for the fall. And so definitely fun to watch, definitely some bright spots, but some points of improvement as well.
Indeed. Jeremy, enjoyed this with you. Ben, Thanks for your work as always on camera and production. And it's going to be exciting fall for SNU football for sure, one way or the other, as the Crimson Storm look to go into their first full fall season under Coach Dustin Hayda. So plenty to look forward to if you're the Crimson Storm. Based on just these first 3 spring games, in fact. And they've got one more. Next Saturday, they will be on the road at UCO up in Edmond. 2 o'clock kickoff from Wantland Stadium, and you can catch that game on their live stream as well as if, as far as the ticket situation, not quite sure how they're doing capacity up there. But definitely, if it's a nice day, go enjoy some spring football and see what the Crimson Storm have to offer for the fall in 2021. Again, the final score from SNU Football Stadium today, 21-20. Missouri Southern knocks off Southern Nazarene. For Jeremy Coleman, Ben Bumpus, and all of us here at SNU Athletics, I'm Luke McConnell saying good afternoon from Bethany.